time it is, buddy?
Fever time.
Yeah, man!
Fire.
Everything that you carry, any luggage you take, all the ghosts you keep in hiding, they don't scare me away. No, 'cause I can't stop falling in love with you. I won't stop falling in love with you. I can't stop falling in love with you, with you. It's the past that keeps on calling, or if fear keeps you awake. I won't let a scar keep me from your lips. I catch every tear from your face. 'Cause I can't stop falling in love with you. I won't stop falling in love with you. I can't stop falling in love with you, with you. I can't stop falling in love with you. I won't stop falling in love with you. I can't stop falling in love with you, with you.
And welcome everyone, or welcome back everyone, for the Fallout Season 2 finale episode breakdown, where we're going to dive into it and talk all things Fallout as we have been all night. We just got done doing the Robco animations, and now we're going to actually see what the episode finale had in store for us. I enjoyed the finale. I thought it was pretty decent. There's a few bits that I might have some critiques on or some questions, but who knows? I think I might have even answered some of them after going back through the screenshots. But we'll dive into all of the fun bits. So welcome everyone. Welcome James, and welcome back Carl. How are you doing, James? I know Carl, you're about where I'm at. Our brain is fried.
Yeah, it's about halfway there.
What about you, James? How you doing, man?
My brain's fried just for the little bit I did.
I know you were helping in the chat, dude. I'm telling you, you guys don't know how much you and How Dear, and all you guys helped us at least narrow down how to maybe translate some of the bits from the animations. All the fun.
And there's some Fallout promo person sitting there laughing like, the guys are going to sit here for hours and it ain't nothing.
I know. That's what I was telling you before. We're going to sit here to have done all of this work, and it's nothing but just funsies. You know, like it has no real meaning. It's just, it was just some fun little shit they put in there. Which, like, again, I haven't seen, I've seen a few little Reddit posts or people trying, like, not even really figure it. They're just like, hey, and then within that post, there's not really a lot of talk. I don't even know if I've seen anybody stream about it. So that's why I was like, man, come on, I know it's got to get, somebody got to tell me something about it. I can't be the only one. But again, the glitch was so crazy, so fast, that even slow-moing it, you kind of possibly missed some of the frames. So it was a hell of a task for me to even capture. I can't imagine for anyone else. So that might be part of why it didn't get talked about as much. I don't know. But nonetheless, we are going to dive into the season finale. It's a wrap, folks. They have concluded season 2. We get a new location, some more possible bits, and I believe they're going to start filming this summer. The showrunners and stuff were talking about how, I guess, just hearing how we talked about, or other people have talked about the time between these series lately and how long of a stretch it is, and that they don't want to lose momentum, so they're trying to get filming started as soon as possible, the way that they were talking, and then get the next season 3 out next year, I believe, if possibly. I have to stay on top of it and see, but I believe, yeah, I think May they're supposed to start the filming of season 3. So that's pretty cool that they're wanting to keep that momentum going and get us some more bits, because I think even there were talks of the Fallout Game 5 coming out somewhere in the middle of their seasons, possibly season 5. So it looks like they are going to use the series to expand the future of the games. And they're trying to include, I know in what was it, 70s, what's the game, 76?
Yeah, 76. They already
I
got
almost said
planned.
78. That's why I was like, fuck, what year was it?
And of course, the remakes of Vegas and 3
Or
are questionable out there.
Yeah,
Because you already know that countdown thing that was happening, that people all thought that was the thing.
right.
But
And
they're
that was
like,
just
no,
them
that
showing
wasn't
off
the
the
thing.
different locations in the show. And it was behind the scenes stuff too that they had on that,
I know,
with that,
which
and it
was
was
cool. It was
good.
real cool.
It was so cool. They showed off, and we'll as we'll see the death claws in this episode, they showed off how they actually created the death claws. It's whether it's just the head of the death claw and a guy puppeting the head, or a dude it's like he's in a suit, like a death claw suit, and it's so big though that they have to have like other people helping him to like maneuver the
Yeah, what was
arms
it,
and
like 3
stuff.
or 4 people
Right.
doing it?
And they did it for the
That was pretty cool.
robots. Of course, the guys are in like a green outfit or whatever, but they're puppeting essentially these. They're not just. It's not all CGI as far as like they're just popping in some animated thing.
No, a
They
lot
actually
more of
use
it was.
real like puppets or items in order to show. Like the robots were full looking. The robot that you see is that it is a real item. Of course, they got the guys in the green suits puppeting it or whatever, but it's real. Like again, the sets this season. The attention to detail for certain things, especially as people who play the games. And I'm sorry, welcome, How Dear and the Grumble Store. Welcome, guys. I did not mean to just say hello to you guys in the chat. I get really caught up in the world of Fallout, and I forget where I'm at sometimes. I apologize. I just had to put myself in the corner later, Carl.
No, you need to be disciplined.
All the suffering. But again, all the stuff that they put into this, and again, it's been a minute since I really fully watched through season 1, and I do remember season 1 being pretty good. But I started playing 3 before season 2 came out, and as soon as I started playing the games, and I went back and just how Lucy went into the town, and you see all the different little bits in the shop with the lady that we get to see again in the season with her roach farm. It was all those little detailed things, that the posters, the propaganda, like just the sets themselves, and we'll see as we go through the pictures with like just the destructed highways, the way the cars were set up everywhere, the burn barrels, all these little tiny details.
Yeah, all the backdrops and all that stuff.
Right. It was so good. The costumes, all those things to me. And again, I've only played 3, and I'm babying my way through. I'm so not making my way through New Vegas as best as I would have. Look, I miss my armor from 3. New Vegas is tough.
Yeah, maybe I should have had you do 4, but I figured just
No, I needed to get into New Vegas. I wanted to see the strip.
Still,
And I'm struggling, but we did make it to a pretty cool location in the game. But again, all those things, as a now having kind of put myself into the gamer aspect of it, and seeing it, the terminals, the Pip Boys, the vaults. I mean, there's so much to me, the attention to detail. And like I said, I wanted to get to the strip because I wanted to see like how close they made it to the games. And the room here, I'm sorry, it's I want to say just like identical. everything about it, even the episodes back where Cooper is going in at before he's a ghoul, before 77 in the Great War, it looked as what I would think in the games. Like everything about that, the way that Victor kind of greets Cooper at the door and stuff. Those little moments are, again, it's set before the Great War. When we meet him, it's after Fallout. But Victor is there to kind of help greet you into Mr. House. Like it was so, I don't know, it gives you this other kind of depth to it, and they did a great job, especially for a series that is based off of a video game. I don't know what it is about video game series or just adaptations to games and movies or games and books and stuff like that, where they kind of miss the mark a lot of times. But this one, to me, yeah, I'm sure there's some nitpicky things with the lore for gamer fans, but I don't know, man. I loved it. I thought it was. I give it at least an 8.5. I give it a 9 because a 10, it's not perfect. There are still some nitpicks, but I'm gonna give it 9 for a whole series, and even the season finale, I'm gonna give it an 8.5 because I got a few more nitpicks on that final episode. On this final episode, but I enjoy it, and I'm rambling. Carl, James, please feel free to
well,
cut
like
me
I
off.
said, like I enjoyed the aspect of this, like you were talking about, like lots of adaptations of, you want to call them reimagining or whatever you want to call them, of whatever they are redoing. They
Right.
just redo them, and this has not taken a different way where they're adding to it and they're making things actually come to life, like the Mr. House thing. Like that whole set is like right on. Like there's like I was telling you, there's parts of that that are straight up out of the game. Period. Now, are they using that part of the game? I don't know, but it seems to me I kind of think they are. But
Even
like,
this, like you said, this is almost like if they had finished New Vegas, right? One of the options you can take out Mr. House, right? He talks about how like his body has had poisoned and all these different things happen to him. You see what is possibly or worse, I'm assuming, and what you told me was Yes Man.
yeah, and that's how he falls over, and it's even the correct way he fell over. Like his screen is to the ground. Like
Mm-hmm.
see how his arm, like even like it's like he was hooked up to it almost. Like it's exact in the game like that.
And this being after the events of New Vegas,
So that
again,
would have
it's like
already happened.
I think we said it was roughly 10 years after the events.
Yeah, it was like 9 or 10 years.
Knowing that and knowing what we hear House say, it's again they're allowing the series to a degree to fall pretty well with the canon of the story in the games. And again, they're using what they call the fog of war approach because the games themselves leave you with several options, especially like New Vegas alone. I looked through like what your possible options were for the ending of House, and there were
So many.
so many. I mean, it's little details as far as like whether you are going to work with him and not work with him, and then are you going to keep his protectortrons for yourself? Are you going to work? You could work with the Legion. Like, there's so many different little endings, and they're kind of giving us their version of a canon ending, but still leaving it kind of this fog of war where they're not telling us everything as far as who won. Like even with the Legion and the new California Republic, they don't really tell us who won the war, right? I don't think they really told us who won the damn war. They're just kind of saying both parties have kind of fallen a bit, but now it's almost as if they're getting ready to redo that war again.
Yeah, that would be the third time on that. Well, technically, this would be the war in Vegas instead of on the dam this time.
Right, and this is it's not really the dam. It's more they're probably going to end up. It's for the strip, and then with this power source being here, the vault being here, and welcome text zombie. You finished it. You liked it. Nice. But with all this sort of congregating right here on the strip, and of course the Legion talking about not, it is Sin City, and the Legion do tend to go after a lot of, like one of the towns I first came to, they went after it because they were doing a lot of shady things. I think they were even capturing people there or something, like you go there to gamble or something like that, and they ended up, some of the people they would like,
Yeah.
they would disappear. But the Legion aren't any better, in my opinion, because they tend to capture people themselves and do horrible things. They did this whole ticket system, and you got to pull a lotto ticket, and you know what? One guy pulled the one he gets to survive. The others, they're on a cross surviving
For a minute, anyway.
And then there's others that just, they got the flames. Lotto tickets, I tell you. And it's why I don't want to play the lotto anymore. Between the lotto in New Vegas or Fallout and the lotto that we kind of saw in Alice of Borderlands, where they're pulling the little fortune tickets and stuff, I don't want to play no games like that no more. That's a risky stakes right there. But no, they put a lot into the series for sure. I'm sorry, I just ramble.
See, and like if you're looking at this little scene here, like if you look at it in a game way, like okay, the cold fusion thing wouldn't be there, so that would be closed pretty much. Right. But that hallway right there, I'm pretty sure that's where you would go to find House.
Which hall? The one below the staircase?
There, right in that area. I'm pretty sure that you go down in there, and that's where you would go.
And he would have been down, and it's weird too because the vault. I don't know. The vault is now we know is in underneath his casino as well.
Or at least it seems that way anyway.
Well, because it seems like that because all right, so
because they left out the front, but yeah, I don't know that.
Well, I'll show you why, because there's actual casino machines when Cooper or Ghoul goes down there. And again, the episode kind of goes between a lot of different things. Let's see, I think it's this one. He's walking down, and there's the casino machines and stuff like that. And there's there were some other tables and stuff as you watch through.
Yeah.
And then when he gets to, let's see, I got to get through Lucy.
See, so this almost seems like an extended part of where House would be. Like he might have been like the other way or something.
Right. Well, yeah, because I'm sure when he goes down here, there's other doorways and stuff. So this is deep. Like the vault goes deep. The vault goes deep down.
That was never a thing, except now it is. You know what I mean? Like they've added to that even.
Right. The vault goes down really, really deep. It's not like it's just like, I'm assuming House's little chamber is a little deep underneath his casino. That vault is ridiculous. Yeah. And it doesn't even open up like a normal vault. I'm trying to find the image.
Yeah, it looks almost like a whole city underneath there, pretty much.
All right, that's when Lucy does after she bangs. We'll get into that in a minute. Let's shoot. All right, so this is the door. Like this is almost similar to what the vaulties have when you have, but the door itself, this is not like a normal vault door.
No, not at all.
So when Barb talked about the special vault, that this is one of the special next to what they're going to get into in Colorado. This is pretty special. I mean, look at this shit. I mean, how tall it goes up is ridiculous. So it's deep inside of.
Even the vault that was in one of the main vaults in the Vault Tech facility wasn't nothing like this.
And I'm wondering with the talks of them remaking some of the games, if they'll add like a DLC or add this, because this isn't, if they're going to make the series canon, then this, you may not have gotten into it now in New Vegas, but if they're going to add stuff, I wonder how they're going to add this into the game.
Well, I know talks of 3, they're already talking about adding some of this lore to it.
And I'm just curious to see how a DLC would work like that.
They would probably have to do a DLC. Well, I don't know. They'd have to add it to House themselves, too.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know how they would add it into the games, but I would really love to see, like, if you could walk through this sucker and do that'd be crazy. Maybe they could add it after if they do in 5, and it's just they just do it as part of 5, and you go back to it or something like that.
Or at least, like, if it did it in Vegas, like, add, like, the Easter egg of, like, maybe just the door. Because, obviously, you ain't...
Right, like, you'll have access to it, but it's there.
Because this is in the future, so...
Right. But there was a lot of good bits in the episode. And I know we were just kind of getting on... talking about the vault and stuff a little bit. But, again, all the attention to detail is so awesome. But... at least I was a little disappointed the fact that we only get the Legion really here to kind of see the aftermath. This is like pretty much in right after the bombs kind of get set off. But yet, it's. I mean, I'm glad they got to come back. I wanted to see more of the Legion, and of course, I guess we'll get to see more of them in the next season. But I was kind of a little disappointed that this was pretty much all we got of them. Secret Gold says the best drink is the Glacier Cherry Gatorade. It's a pretty good drink.
Yeah, I do enjoy that from time to time.
I need my screenshots back up. But it looks like our dude. He's got Caesar, and he gets to go take him in. Of course, they're battling each other still a little bit out there. Kaiser. That's right. Well, you know what? It should be Caesar.
Yeah, but they pronounce it wrong.
It's fine. Well, I pronounce it wrong too, apparently, because it's Kaiser. See, it works out. It's just like it's just like the computer programming, right? Where they accidentally put a capital W here or a capital letter here or a non-capital letter there. It's fine. It works out.
Yeah, I think Lucy maybe.
Well, see, he says Caesar here. See, he calls him. That's where I got it from. I knew I didn't just pull Caesar out of my ass.
They spell it Caesar, but they say Kaiser.
Well, see, that just is fuckery for me because I'm sitting here looking at it and I'm like.
Every time I read it in the game, I always said Caesar in my book.
But you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong, but I am wrong. But damn it.
But they're doing capitalizations too.
Oh, I'm sorry. What were you saying, James?
No, you're not wrong. In archaeology, when they dig up stuff, the royalty people usually wrote more formal, but the normal person didn't. So the way they know how ancient languages they actually pronounced and talked is because the normal people would write how it sounded, not necessarily how it's spelled. So all of that's pretty cool. You can see where after an apocalypse they would say Kaiser because they think that's how it's pronounced or whatever.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Right. Yes, it's Kaiser. No, I ain't gonna. Shit, I can't read it. Then I'm still I'm gonna try to say it the way I think it sounds. It's gonna be wrong. We'll just say Kaiser. Fine. And they fucked me by spelling it correctly too. And I'm sitting here going, I'm like, Caesar. But either way, the Kaiser is Legion and he is no more, and it ends with him. But our colleague Culkin said, the hell it is. It ain't ending. He wasn't happy about that. So, he had to take out any witnesses and all the evidence and take the crown. And now he is the new Kaiser. Just like that, folks, in the Wastelands. That's actually pretty much how it goes.
And I like the way that this kind of set up his character to show how he's going to be. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to kill this guy and eat this so nobody else knows, and this is how I'm going to run this. That's going to show you how he's going to run his version of the Legion. Instead of being the old ways, it's going to be his way.
Right. And is the so it's Soze?
See, why you gotta help with Great Gold? You should have just let her be confused.
No, he's helping me, Carl. No, he doesn't want me to suffer, unlike you. You like to see me suffer. Yes, it is Kevin. This is what happens when his parents leave him home alone. He joins the Legion. His parents were gone. They didn't just leave him home alone. They didn't make it. See, I got it right, Carl.
I would have just let you think. That's why I didn't say anything.
I know, you piece of shit.
See, James didn't either, so he's on my level with that.
No, James, he just doesn't like to talk over me, so he just stays there quietly sometimes.
Oh.
Or something. I don't know. I don't want to speak for James. But I do like, again, every episode they give us a different little sort of Fallout intro image. And this one we get the Pip-Boy, and it's pretty cool because we get a whole new Pip-Boy, right? Like, I don't think they've ever had one that we get to see in this episode from the Enclave. Damn it, I keep pressing the wrong
That's a new
screen.
thing as far as I'm aware. I mean, maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe there was something like in some of the
Right.
first games or something. I don't know.
And I mean, this one's not the Enclave one, but I just like how they're popping up the Pip-Boy.
Yeah, but I
And
never. We do
they
see
kind of
that.
show off two Pip-Boys, right? We get the one for House, which isn't like a new Pip-Boy, but it's, I guess, special because House is giving it out. And then we get the Enclave one. So I like the attention to details with them. Look, our dude's ready to go.
I'm trying to look and see. They usually throw something else in them too. I didn't see anything else in that one.
And which one?
In the Pit Boy thing, I was just saying. Usually they like put a couple things together, like like they did the chip and the something else. But never mind.
Look, our boy, he's got all of the Legion power together, or what's left of them, and they're ready to storm the strip and take out any sinners or degenerates, I guess, in their own special way.
Dude with the glasses is pretty cool.
Great Gold says there was a DLC back in the day that lets you get the upgraded Pip-Boy. Oh, sweet. I know there's the gold one's a thing Carl was telling me about New Vegas. I might eventually try to. Oh God, I'm gonna screw it up and not get it. It's gonna piss me
Yeah,
off.
you have to do that a correct way. Like I'll
I
have to
know, and I'm gonna
visually
lose out
walk
on the
you through
Pip-Boy
that.
and shit. Oh well. But the Legion, they're power. And then again, I was kind of disappointed because other than at the very end, this is really all we get. And I'm a little, again, there was a lot they had to put into the season, so I don't know. I was a little disappointed. I thought we would get them a little. Yeah, we do see them with her dad, Hank, and him putting the chip on them, but we don't really, this is seemingly what, like 2 episodes back when the battle happened or more.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's just the timing is they're throwing me off a little bit because it doesn't take them that long to storm onto the strip. Like it didn't take Hank, or not Hank, I'm sorry, Cooper and Lucy long from the point of where they left here to get to the strip. It didn't seem like it took them that long. So yes, given the fact that there might have been a couple days of battle here, it seemed as like I said, I don't know. And then they just all of a sudden end up on the strip. I guess it's fine. I would have thought if they were storming the strip, I would have thought they would have been there sooner than they were.
Yeah, it did seem like all this like almost like was like, hey, it's like it took a day to do. Let's go. Like yeah.
It was a little. I don't know. It was a little bit. I got to nitpick where it don't make sense. See, I'm fair.
But I guess all in all though, like they were fighting for it wouldn't have they were all together, so excuse me, they were all together, so I guess it wouldn't have taken them too long to.
Wouldn't have taken them long to get there. That's what I'm saying. I would assume they would have been there a little sooner. Like it's one of the things where I'm like, oh, it was a little. I want to say a little bad writing, but. What do you think, Jane? Do you think it's realistic from where they had the battle to then, like, you think they should have been there sooner, or you think it was about right?
I have no idea where they were and where they're going. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where they were. So,
That was the encampment where Lucy was at when they took Lucy, and the ghoul came and got her, and he exploded that encampment.
I mean, how long did it take Lucy and the ghoul?
It didn't seem like it took them that long to get to the strip.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
and I mean, they're going to have a few days, but
because they were still fighting, and you don't know how long that took versus them getting together, and how long did it take to get all their shit together and form lines, and march, and there's a lot to it.
Well, and Lucy was with her dad for at least a couple days, so. mean, I guess they could have done all that while that
Right.
was happening.
Well, I guess because they didn't really show us much. It's like the last we see is the ghoul setting off the explosion and their kind of battle starting, and then we just come back to the battle and him getting, the leader and the paper, and then all of a sudden by the end of the episode, and they're at the strip. They're like on the outskirts or whatever. Like they're walking into the strip where Lucy's like they're looking out over the 38 or from the 38.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, it was just this and the NCR, the way they ended up
the
doing their
NCR
stories,
really
that
bothered
kind of
me.
irritated me as far as the episodes. Why I was like, I can't quite give it as good a rating because it didn't. It seemed almost like a cop. I don't know. It was just like, oh, okay. They didn't do enough like story with them to kind of like say, okay, this is how they kind of ended up here. It was just sort of
This here, the Legion at least could be somewhat like, okay, maybe it took him a couple of days, like
right.
he ran and got his crown, and then they all listened to him because that's just how they ordered.
Right.
Now the NCR thing that really bugged me because it's like, where were they at for 10 years? But they just mysteriously all just showed up that day. Like, where were they at? You know what I mean? Like they just, hey, we're here
Right.
now.
Because other than this moment here, and trust me, this is like right out of the game of New Vegas when the intro into the game, you see the dude shooting and everything like that. Like this is pretty cool, don't get me wrong. But I like the fact they put that in there for the fans, but I don't like the way they did it.
Yeah, I like the whole scene. Even the scene with Thaddeus shooting off of his foot was pretty cool. That to me was pretty cool. That whole little thing.
Well, yeah, everything as far as the battle
But-
goes, and I do love seeing this. But the last time we see that lady, she talked the way they were talking, even the dude, she was like, we've been cut off. And the way the ghoul has been to several of their outposts, and they've all been abandoned,
Yeah,
for
because-
her to just seemingly get right, like, again, it's how close were, because the ghoul didn't run into any of them. He even talked to her as if they were all gone. Like she was, like her little group was the last group, and she didn't have this many people with her.
Exactly.
And one of her people got taken. The guy with the squirrel, he's down there in the vault.
So yeah,
so-
so seriously, like
And
they
it
were
just
just
so
hanging out
happens
somewhere.
now when the, dude's battling, Maximus is battling the Death Claws, they come in. Right, it was just, I don't know. I mean, it was cool. Don't get me wrong, but it seemed a little like forced or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because even when you're playing the game, you know they're always like running around doing their little patrols. They're not just like mysteriously nowhere.
Right. And I know she said, like, she told the ghoul that there were other, like, she was just cut off from her platoon. Again, the timing, because we don't get exact days, but it did not seem like there would have been, like, she left when, again, Lucy, they leave the Legion from being exploded and starting that civil war. They go here to her, not here, but they go to where she's at with the little or it's not even an outpost, their little encampment. And that's where she gets the buff out and all that kind of stuff.
That they were there for several years.
And they were there for like 10 years or something. I don't remember how long, but she was there for several years just kind of hanging out there because I'm assuming the Legion, she couldn't get kind of across the wasteland. But then all of a sudden when they take out the Legion or the Legion's being all fucked up, she's like, okay, we're packing up and leaving. She even gives away like the guns or something. She's like, we can't take it with us or something. And they just kind of walk off into the sunset. And one of her guys is taken. So it's... I don't know, it just kind of seemed little holes there, maybe, or maybe I'm just not understanding.
Oh, it's to me, like I said, it's pretty funny that like mysteriously she can just go find them in that short amount of time, and they couldn't find them for years.
They couldn't go anywhere.
Even if they existed, like even though it's all signs pointed to like Cooper kept getting their stuff. You know what I mean? Like it seemed like they was not there. And none of their main areas anyways. I mean, I guess they could have moved to the side somewhere, but still that would have taken some time to find them since she didn't know where they was.
Right, and the platoon's just somewhere hanging out waiting for her. I mean, I get she's like a superior or whatever, but then why, again, what information are they receiving that makes them now want to go to the strip in this moment? I get it that they patrolled the strip back in the day, but like it was just the way everybody congregated here, especially with the NCR, that I felt there was a little bit of holes in the story there. But I mean, there was a lot to put in the season.
On a side note with the NCR, I do like the way they did the Rangers, other than changing the helmet a little bit, because that's supposed to be like a World War II helmet, I believe, a World War One helmet. They just got it. They just changed it a little bit. They did a pretty good job with that.
Yeah, I did enjoy. Again, I enjoyed this moment because as soon as I seen it, I was like, oh, "It's straight from the game." And then as I started to kind of dissect the scene, and I was like, "Well, why are they here all of this?" I mean, I appreciate him coming and saving Maximus's butt. You know, he was about to get his ass kicked, but I don't know. What did you think about it, Jay? I don't know. What did you think?
You know, I like the story. I like the death call fight and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't even really think too much deeply about how long it took them to get there and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, overall through the season, I like the story and everything. But one thing that does almost make me hate the show is the edit. I hate when it shows a little scene and cuts to black, shows a little scene, cuts to black, shows a little and cuts to black. That, I know it's a little thing, it's a tiny little thing, but something about it just pisses me off when I'm sitting there watching it.
Right, like
that's the only thing, because it's not a commercial.
Like in this episode, a few times,
a bunch of times, 10 or 12. Holy shit! And when they don't do it, it feels great. Like they cut from Lucy to Maximus one time in the fight, and I'm like, damn, that's awesome. But then it pisses me off when it goes to black, and I don't know why. And I know that's just such a little thing, but as far as the story goes,
no, that's a good, because I did notice that, but I didn't think about it like that. But yeah, it is frustrating because it's just an editing thing. Yeah, it's just an editing thing, and you'd think if this was shown on AMC, where you had commercials, you know, and that's a break for commercial, I get it, but this is not the case. So why do it? It's just annoying as hell. But especially
other than that,
with me griping about how like they don't explain enough about the NCR, and to have a break like that where they could fill in more. Yeah, that is frustrating.
It's just an editing thing. It just bothers me. But you know, the story, it's interesting to hear you guys tell about the lore, because I don't know anything about it. But you know, just watching the show, not knowing that, you know, you can go with it, you know.
Right. And like I said, I'm nitpicking as far as the NCR, because I think I wanted to see if they were going to bring them in like this and the Legion the way they did. I wanted to see a little bit more of them. And kind
I did like the guy in the store or whatever was, you know, everybody's betting, which is funny. Like, is he going to live or die? You know, if he dies, we die too. Well, let's keep betting. I still got 20 on whatever. And so all that's pretty funny how the people act, because it does kind of mirror people in the real world. Sometimes it feels like, but, it was cool when he's like, he's gonna lose, and he gets his gun. Hey, everybody, let's go save our town. And they're like, no thanks. So, you know, it's got humor. It's got, you know, the show's got all the elements to be a good show as far as that goes.
Yeah, no, it does. And I love, like you said, this, it's cut throughout the episodes. I'm trying to go back, but even our guy here, like Carl was saying, this was pretty cool how he used his foot, but even funnier was how he used his arm throughout the episode.
Yeah, where he threw it down, like, hey, listen to me.
He's swinging it around.
Yeah,
he was funny. Trying to get them all in the building with it.
He dropped all the caps out, and he's like, count them, bitches.
Yeah, because the dude's like, you money. Caps. Yeah, losers. I make money for a living, or I used to make money for a living. Let's see.
I always thought that even playing the game, like the cash thing, like that would be a horrible system, because how are you going to carry a lot of cash? I guess like he did in his pants. So that would not be comfortable.
No, here it is. He swings that damn thing around trying to get everybody in the building and shit. The death claws are coming. Yeah, here it is. He's like hitting her in the back with it and shit. It's funny. No, again, I like all the costumes, the sets. I did enjoy the fight with Maximus and the Death Claws, him getting to show off the suit, the music they played. Um, and at first, I thought there was I don't know why they showed his foot going because I thought there was a wire here, but now it just looks like sticks and a lock. But I thought like it was about to show basically like the because House says that the Enclave sent the Death Claws in, and so I assume they sent it in to try to get access to the vault and or shut down House in some manner. And that they had it set to where the Death Claws, they wanted to keep them there because we know in the games that they can control the Death Claws to a degree. And but I don't think that's a wire anymore, Carl.
Yeah,
No.
I thought it was going to be something too, like the Death Claw was looking like, okay, this used to shock me, or something, like an
Mm-hmm.
animal would do. But it does. I mean, it
Yeah.
does look like maybe he was just looking at the lock or something. Like that lock was keeping him in or
I know
something.
that didn't completely make sense
But
too.
well, we know from the game that there was frequencies that they were controlled by. So maybe there was some sort of frequency that was broken somehow. I don't know.
I know. I was trying to give them credit, like, oh man, there's like a
Yeah,
wire, some
but
device here that got broke when Maximus got broke through or whatever. He pushed Maximus through, but then I was looking at it after the screen. I took the screenshot to really look close at it, and I'm like, well, that just doesn't. I mean, there's a lock maybe here. Maybe I think it's a lock. It could be a piece of wood for all I fucking know.
yeah, it
What
seemed
I
like it
thought
was
was
just
here,
barricaded.
but I can't tell. I don't know if that's wire or just twigs.
No, that's twigs. That doesn't look like wire to me.
I was like, damn it. So that again, I still enjoyed the episode, but there's some things I'm nitpicking on this one more than I have on some of the others. If I don't think I've nitpicked too much on any of the episodes, but this here, there's a few things that I was like, well, shit.
Well,
But
the
I
death
still
claw
like
thing
the fact of
always,
what we did get, though.
like I said, the death claw thing was always like I don't. It was always a bit questionable. Like,
It was. I mean, him explaining the Enclave sentiment at least gives us the fact that they were being controlled. But then why? Like they did. They seemed like they couldn't go through the barrier until I don't know.
well,
Whatever.
even if the Enclave sent them in, that didn't necessarily mean they were controlled because they kept them in crates and would just unleash them as well as a
Right.
weapon. But
That is true. Oh, and before we get further into the Deathclaw battle, I want to go back real quick. And we were talking about House and some things he told Cooper when he gives him the Pip Boy, which is pretty cool. Guess what else we get to see, Carl? There's one and there's two more snow globes.
oh
We get more of those are the little things that we get to collect throughout the game New Vegas and give to House. Whatever that's his nostalgic thing. He likes to collect them. I thought that was cool. I just didn't want to forget about that. So, little Easter eggs for you guys. And again, we get another new little Pip Boy.
wonder which ones those are. I'm sure that someone knows.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's pretty nice and shiny and special. And when did House, just I don't know when he. And then this gets into did House, and I'm gonna try to rewatch and really listen to what he says again. But I'm 50-50 on if he's actually his body is still. He said a lot of people did try to do all these different things to his body, but then he acted like he was still good and going. Or was he? I'm not sure if he's now full AI or not. He's
Well, the way
totally
that I was taking this is okay. At this point, his body is beat up and it's still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Cooper gave him the power source to complete whatever he was going to do in the beginning. So that was to turn into AI, pretty much.
But he
So he
just put
finally
it
got
in
to
there
do
though.
it and put
He
himself
did it in
in.
like 3 seconds.
How long would it take him to do it? He just had to
I don't know.
download
I mean,
himself.
because he was talking to like Cooper had to turn him on. So that's where I'm not completely 100% sure. I mean, he probably is. I just wasn't 100% on that.
Or it could have been his backup file all along, and we could be getting that ending, like I said.
Could be.
and they're just not telling us that because they don't want to tell us straight anything because you still gotta be able to play the game.
Right. And they do like to, again, they're using that fog of war approach to the series. So I'm not 100% sure. What do you guys think in the chat? Let us know. Is Mr. House fully digitized, or is he still thumping down there somewhere? What do you think, James? Is he still a body person somewhere, or do you think he's fully digitized?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I'm not sure either. I think he's still hopping around down there, but I don't know for sure.
So at the end of the one, like I told you that they showed it, well, they actually showed his body. His arm was hanging out of it, and his pod was open. So
Yeah,
that
I'm about to
means
go back and look at that. That's after the end of one of the episodes when they're doing the
yeah,
credits.
that was a
They
couple
do like
episodes
little
back.
images and stuff like that.
So if his pod's open, that means his body was in pretty bad shape.
And like I said, I'm not so, and they're doing that kind of stuff too. And I don't know if they're fully insinuating that he's gone because the way he was talking, I took it a different way. But I'm gonna go back and re-listen to what he says because he says a lot. Like it's little things too. The way he plays Cooper um, with his family, knowing that they're not there anymore. But I don't think he knew where they went.
And Cooper's first name is Howard.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because
I can't.
in this episode, he was calling him Mr. Howard instead of Mr. Cooper or
Yeah.
something.
That's right.
So I was like, I was the whole time I was like, I thought his name was Cooper, and then I thought maybe his first name's Howard.
Well, that's why Cooper was messing with him back and was like calling him Bob.
Yeah. What's up, Alice? Welcome. He could be CO. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to really try to pay attention and go back to what you're talking about too, Carl, and look at that after the episode and
Yeah,
see. Because
well,
I'm curious to see if they're gonna like have him pop out next. Because we know he's still around. They showed that at the end of the episode.
so that was kind of like his final thing he wanted to do was to make sure that he would live on forever to be the AI or whatever you want to call him.
Mm-hmm.
So if he would stay in his body, his body's going to be gone. But when he's in his computer, he can pop up literally anywhere.
Mm-hmm. And they make sure to show him still pop up. I'm sure that they're gonna end up in the Lucy and Maximus. I would think she's gonna show him the vault down there. I mean, there's so much. I mean, why would you not? And they're gonna find the Pit Boy next season. I'm assuming. Oh, in Colorado, he could be in Colorado. I don't know if he's in Colorado or not. I know that's where Cooper's family is supposed to be, and if they're at where I believe it was Vault Zero is in Colorado,
Yeah,
and
that's one of the things that's in Colorado.
because that's where was that the president's vault or where he was supposed.
That would be where the calculator was,
Oh, the calculator. That's right.
and that was
So much
that
more.
that was an enclave thing, and the calculator was ran by Brain, so you would
Yeah, they
have
got
to
all
actually,
jacked up and shit.
yeah, I mean,
So I don't know. That could be in a. I mean, it seems as if she might be somewhere where because the enclave's in Colorado. That's where they've been fully outpost, and she's possibly somewhere there with his daughter.
now if they was doing the calculator route, they could make it so his family's brains could be running in that calculator. 'Cause that's how the calculator had to.
Oh, that would be. Oh God, you imagine if he finds that?
Yeah,
Oh, that's fucked up. Especially the way like we see them using the congresswoman and stuff.
yeah. So he could. It'd be like how we seen Bud, but like in a different fashion, like literally their batteries for the computer.
Right.
And that's what made it kind of whack out and be more evil.
So, but House said he kind of, he thinks he's kind of played Cooper here, and told him he betted what on a
On Hope.
on a hope or something like that, and then of course they're not there. But I don't think House knows about the postcard.
No, to me that was kind of weird. That was even there. I
Like
guess something was set up.
she knew when she left from here. Like she knew. It's almost as if she figured out what was going to happen here, and she was. I don't know if she ended up working with the Enclave,
And
or
found
she's
that.
somewhere over there trying to work against them. But she's going to Colorado, and that is where that Enclave outpost is that we've seen from even the beginning, right? Like that's the same outpost that
Yeah,
our
that's what.
guy,
Yeah,
Michael Emerson, comes from. There it is. So it's a bit curious.
and if you remember, dog meat came from there, so dog meat would probably know how to get back there
Hmm.
if he was with them.
And we even get to see the little iRobot receiving all the messages. What's up, Miss Debbie? It's gonna be a long walk, indeed. But it seemed as if that one guy. I mean, again, they're not really showing time as far as days, or they don't have a calendar for us. Um, but Michael Emerson, that was playing the scientist or whatever, he came from this facility and made his way to California, right? Because that's where Lucy was originally, like Shady Sands, which was I think the California area.
Yeah,
So he trucked it pretty far himself, and he was on foot. But no, it's very interesting to see how they're bringing the Enclave in, which I assumed they would show. I was hoping they would show them off a little bit more, but I assumed they were going to leave that as the cliffhanger, revealing them. The cool thing was that they revealed that Steph and Hank were married and that they were essentially like double agents or spies or whatever in Vault Tech. And she's super double, triple, fuck,
well, the funny thing about that is they was married, but they was married before they went in. So the
right.
people they were married to when they were in there, they wasn't really married to them.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, even the way Hank was like, oh, and Steph, ooh, Steph. But Hank, what was in? I never thought it would be a Pit Boy. I'm
Me
thinking
either.
it's a key, but it did have to do with the virus. I'm pretty sure the phase 2 that she enacts when she uses it, and again, we get all kind. There's no holotape found, but it tells you the kind of the RAM system. We get the version, and this one was copyrighted in 2076 from Robco Industries, which was like I'm assuming probably around about a year before um, the Great War in 77. So again, if Hank got his, I'm assuming this is why Hank was in that meeting with House in order to check out the chips is because he was working with the Enclave, I'm assuming. Like he was like, hey, I asked Betty if I could sit in on this meeting where Barb was talking to House and he was selling them the chip for the cold fusion. And then in the end, I think they ended up getting the chip to a degree because it's in their vault, right? That's where the vault is underneath House's casino. They're working on the chip. That was the work that they were working on all along. And they got the cold fusion back that night from Cooper when he gave it to the president. So they were just fucking all. They fucked Mr. House all over the place.
And somehow we know that they even got access to his helmet, which is more of his.
Now, what's even more curious, Carl? She's inside of the vault, right?
Yeah,
Why is the radiation meter up to like a 3?
maybe she's radiated herself because she was born outside the vault. I don't know.
But why would nobody have picked that up on her other Pit Boy?
I don't know. That's weird. Maybe that one works better,
Like,
or it's
why would it be?
malfunction.
Why would it be picking up radio? I thought if they're in the vaults, they were safe from the radiation. Or do they have like do the Pit Boys? Because when Lucy put hers on, when the Raider came in and married her or whatever, and she put her Pit Boy back on, it like triggered it then, but it didn't seem to trigger it before.
Yeah, I don't
Because you
know.
would think when they were just standing around all of them, it would have triggered the radiation. But so that I don't even know why it would, other than the fact that they were just showing off a Pip Boy. But I thought it was curious that it showed radiation at that point, and but she's never like it didn't seem like it was going off when she wears her normal one.
I mean, technically there is radiation all over the place anyways. And it's not in the red, so
So I guess they're fine, whatever. As long as the levels don't go above that, they're good. So I guess it's just
yeah,
showing off where she's at.
yeah,
Yeah, I was just curious because when I took the screenshot, I was like, wait a minute. I thought they weren't supposed to be so radiated, but I guess they do have the nuke colas and stuff in there, so it's
yeah, and eat whatever, and their
well. I
water
don't know though
probably.
because all of their stuff though I thought was safe, but who knows?
Well, when you have water and stuff, when you drink it, you get a little bit radiated anyways
But
as well.
they have the water filtration systems and
Well, it
stuff.
still could be somewhat radiated.
It
But
could be. I don't know. That's
you
why I
have
was
to brush
curious
your teeth
about
a
it.
lot.
Yeah, she was scrubbing them babies real hard. I just thought it. I don't know. I was just curious because I was like, wait a minute. I thought they weren't supposed to.
Even if you were a Geiger counter and like just walked around like you would pick up some radiation here and there.
Well, mine shows me on my Pip Boy where my level's at, and I can get it all the way down to 0.
No, I'm saying in real life, like,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I don't know.
But I was just saying, as far as the way I thought they worked.
You probably shouldn't have picked that up. That's probably what that
Am I doing the thing again, Carl? Damn it.
means.
Oh well. But a girl has
But it wasn't in the
initiated.
red, so I was imagining that just means it's normal.
Right. But she's initiating all kinds of shit. And our little dude here picked up. They just picked up the signal, and he's like, "Oh, let's see, what do we get?" And of course, she's letting them know that she is Stephanie Harper, Hank McLean's wife. But see, she's calling her. She didn't take his name. She still refers to herself as Harper. So, but his wife, what it don't matter.
And see, that kind of shows, that definitely they was working for them in the before times because they know who she is. They know who Hank is.
Oh, I'm sure
So,
they
well, obviously they would know who he was. But I'm saying they knew that they were married. They knew all that, even
and
though
the
they
way
already would.
and the way she says, I don't know how this works exactly, but he said you were always listening, which again, we know like they kind of show how they're receiving things from all over, um, all the like the radio signals and everything like that from the ham radios and stuff like that. So they're again when House is talking to Cooper when he's making his way through the vault, and he's telling him, there was someone outclassed me, and I put in all these sort of like basically rigged the system in all different ways to be on top, but somebody basically kind of did it on top of him. Kind of letting you know they've been listening to shit all along.
Yeah, they're like the old version of a house,
Hmm.
pretty much. Which kind of changes a lot of their lore because you know how a lot of that happened. Like, remember in 3 how they was making like the president came back and they had to remake all the little robots to run around and they played the music and spread all the propaganda but they
Right.
wasn't a big, they was just kind of barely hanging on at that point, but they got strong enough to finally fight the Brotherhood. But that kind
Hmm.
of changes all that because if they had this giant base all along, that means they've been secretly doing things the whole time.
Right. And we see orders, one complete, authorized eyes only. And then for 2, it's redacted, access protocol, downloading. Again, that was kind of sort of the stuff like we were seeing in the glitches a little bit, not quite the same, but just sort of how they display things in their terminals. And then it's downloading all of these things. We got some kind of launch file, all kinds of shit. When I get close up on it, it's a starting cell selection. There's some discovery. All kinds of little bits going through. and it runs through again, kind of how like that system debug thing was, but not quite the same, of course, because it's not the same. But it's just the way that their terminals kind of run through the information. And then we get the phase 2 initiation request received. And it looks like they're getting ready to do the phase 2 that the Vaulties were talking about. And I'm assuming, again, from what was on Barb's computer and what Hank lets Lucy know, like all these bits are kind of coming together, that phase 2 is going to be, it has to do with the little chips, and it has, to do with the virus. So there'll be people, like he says, on the outside who are kind of going to infiltrate all of these groups, and they'll never know because they'll have this little chip in the back of their head. And then I think they're going to release the virus as well. I don't know if it's going to be like water supply or how they're just going to capture people and dip them into it. Like, I'm not sure how they're going to initiate that phase 2, but it seemed as if the Vaulties that were in 31, that they were aware, at least most of them were part of the company long enough to know kind of what phase 2 was, or at least Bud's assistant. So I don't know, what do you guys think about phase 2, now knowing what Dad has developed with the chip and making it smaller and everything that they've talked about with it? What do you think, James? Any thoughts?
I don't know. What's the specific question?
Well, I don't know. I was just thinking, what do we think phase 2, I guess? Is it going to just entail maybe the virus, or how is the chip going to be? Like, I wonder who he's going to get with the chip.
Right.
Or just any thoughts in general, like
Well,
as far as kind of giving out that information.
The brother, what he
Mm-hmm.
saw on the computer, what was it, FEV or something, whatever that was. I thought that maybe had something to do with phase 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think
that
there's a
definitely
connection.
does.
Yeah, but that's all I know, I guess.
And it seems like this has something to do with it possibly as well. I'm not sure. Is this some other experiment? Because her dad says that the outside, or top side, not the vaults, but the outside world or whatever was supposed to be the real experiment. And that virus is one of the experimentations or different versions of that virus they use to experiment on people, and that's how they create like the super mutants and things like that. So I don't know. I was just curious. I guess any thoughts? I didn't really have I guess I'm sorry.
Well,
Specific.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just found it curious how the dad was talking about the chip and what it's going to be used for, and how the people who have this chip, or the people who will have the chip inside of them, are going to be carrying out orders that were created, centuries ago, or whatever, however many years ago he said, and that the top, everybody on the outside of the vaults was the real experiments, as if, because he's aware that she's aware of sort of experimentation that goes on within the vaults, but he's like, no, the outside is the experiment. And just how that fits in with the chip. I mean, of course, people are going to be, he said, robotized or whatever. They're going to be all with that little bit of personality that he's kind of programmed them for. But what are they doing to carry out?
So who dropped the bombs?
That's still slight mystery, I think.
That will probably always be a mystery. That's just the thing.
They're pointing, I think, to the Enclave, the way
Right.
House talked about it.
Right. So the Enclave was setting everybody up, and they dropped the bombs, being the experiments on the surface, and all the while, House and the rest of the people maybe knew it was going to happen, and the vault thing is their little side thing. Or is it like the vaults is just something the rich people did, knowing that the Enclave was going to experiment on the surface? Could that?
See, and that's where it gets a little bit confusing, because her dad's saying that. Well, my understanding was always that the vaults were kind of House Vault Tech, in which we learn Vault Tech is controlled by the Enclave. I don't think House realized that at first, but sort of all these corporations that were at that meeting with Barb, and she's talking about, oh, you can all have your own vaults and do whatever you want with them, and made the best vault win. At that point, we learned that before that meeting, she got in the elevator with the scientist that was Michael Emerson, and him telling her, you're going to make sure that they know that the bombs are going to be dropped, and that, they basically have to invest in this. So I don't know if the corporations and even Bud knew fully what was going to happen in the vaults. Like, they paid for something, but I don't think the Enclave cared. Like, yeah, of course they needed the people in order to carry out these experiments. They wanted them to do these experiments for the same similar reason why House is trying to gather data and stuff like that, and they talk about like the data wars and the animations. The Enclave, I believe, was also trying to collect as much data and do all these different scientific experiments, and that was a good way to sort of force people in through fear in order, like, so the people who own the vaults had their own intentions. They didn't tell the vaulties or the people that paid their admission into the vault. I don't think they did, from what I understand playing through the games, they didn't know that these experiments were going on. They thought they were just being saved from the radiation outside from the bombs drop. So it's a really like web of fuckery. If the Enclave dropped the bombs and was forcing people's hands to pay for the vaults, they control Vault Tech, they need the funding, so they get all this money, but then they still get to do experimentations. They knew that the water chips, they knew water chips would fail before installation, and they knew which vaults those were going to go into. The people who own the vaults didn't know. Like, they paid to own those vaults for whatever they wanted to do with them. And the people who paid to go into the vaults didn't know that the fuckery upon fuckery. So, again, that's why I'm like, what, with him saying that the outside was the full experiment, even so, it's like those are many things that they're doing, but the outside with the virus and whatever these chips are seems to be like the major experiment. But I thought they just wanted everybody taken off the surface so they could do whatever they want, like reclaim the world for their own. But it seems as if the Enclave just wants to be scientists gone wild. If that made any sense in my rambling.
Yeah, because
silence made me think. No, I'm sorry.
Right. It happened like this. Like, the corporations had their own thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were like, okay, we want to produce it and make as much money off of these vaults. So they had their own things and their own way of doing things. That's why you had things like broken water chips. You had some vaults didn't even close. You had some vaults radiated. They did things like that. Like, they didn't care. Like, as long as they got their money, there was all population control over them. Now, in the background, because the Enclave has always been the shadow government, right? They were the ones that were doing other things. Like, they was doing things like the chips, or they were doing creating super mutants. They were creating other things. They were just doing what, they already had the death claws made before the bomb was even dropped. That's what they wanted to do. Now, him saying that the outside was the real experiment, that could change a lot of things, because that was never a thing. Like,
right, and that's why I was saying, like, I'm curious to how they're going to play that, or then again, her dad could have just been saying shit too. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, to me, that's pointing to me was, okay, the original experiment through the Master and all that was the super mutants.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the experiment that's been around on the outside the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe
and they could put it in the I was just saying they could put it in the food or vaccines up top, and that's possible. The way I understand that the virus works a lot of times is they kind of like they made the super mutants by dipping them into it.
Yeah, there's been many.
I know they put it in the water supply possibly, but it depends on the version of the virus, right?
There was one version that they was going to shoot a missile and go into the ozone and just have it rain on people and kill everybody, and that was an Enclave thing.
Well, even
So
when I was dealing with the Enclave in 3, they were trying to put it in the water
yeah,
supply.
then they did that one, and then you have the institution who did things with it, and with releasing things, and making. That's why, like I said, you'd see the brutes and the different versions of the super mutants and other
Hmm.
things.
Yeah, the
Like,
centaurs, the
so
all
that was
kinds
the
of whacked
master
out
thing where he
creatures.
was
Oh yeah, that's the
combining things.
master. See, I fuck up between the
Yeah,
Enclave and some of them because they all end up. A few people get the virus, right? Or to get their hands on the
yeah.
virus to use it
Well,
for different
well, the way that
purposes.
the
Because some of the
master
vaults
even,
have it. Because when I was in
yeah,
that one vault on DC side, they had some version of it, right? Because that's how they created that once the super mutants and stuff like that.
yeah, and that's where you found that guy, the one super mutant that was with you.
I had to get the little geck or whatever it was called to
Yeah.
recreate life
So
and
there's always
such.
been like layers of everybody's pretty much trying to do fuckery to the other person.
That's why I'm
But
curious at how they're going to uh how phase two, as far as the virus is concerned, how they're going to put it out there, especially with the like the chips, because he was talking about how it's almost as if there's two kind of things going on within the face, because the virus, from my understanding, is either going to kill them off, like kill everybody off, or it's
but
going to like
that's
change them into
basically what it
mutants
was
and stuff. Like it's
created
going to
for.
create it fucks up your like your DNA and shit. It does all kinds of fucked up shit. And, like, cause some of the creatures that's been created from the virus are whacked out looking. Like I said, the centaurs and shit, they're all kinds of fucked up. And we don't know what our boy or Maximus's friend has, right? We don't know what version of the virus he
Now,
has.
even remember the thing that was in the water in the first season?
Mm-hmm.
That was a thing created by the virus.
Right. The little it looked
No,
like
the
a
the giant thing that came out when
yeah,
she had her finger
it looked
cut
like
off
a
and all that.
giant axolotl or some shit like
Yeah,
that. I had to think of what it's called.
I can't remember what that thing's called, but that thing was created from it too. And there's some other things that don't have arms and they look weird. I can't like. There's a lot of things
And this
that was
seems like a specific version the Enclave had that was specifically for this great plan. Like they had all these other versions of it they tested with, or other people throughout the game history have used, but we don't know. Like, remember when Cooper, when he was first going to Vegas, when he before Fallout, and we see him go to the phone booth and talk to the lady, and she gives him a vial of something to kill House. We don't know where she falls right now in the midst of all this, right? Because just as soon as I think somebody's a good guy, just like the Congress lady, I don't know where they kind of change it. I thought Cooper's wife was this like was kind of a horrible person to a degree, the way they were playing her character, and now it seems as if she wasn't trying to. She was actually trying to do the best she could with the knowledge that she had, even trying to help Cooper. And, he took the fall for her, or didn't want her to be involved with it. So it makes me think now, okay, she's actually not as she might be actually a good character. You know what I'm saying? Like the way they play the characters sometimes. I'm not sure about Civ. Oh fuck! I lost where I was going. Probably affected people before the bombs fell. Well, it seems as if they're getting ready to enact the virus, this strand of the virus. But the chips, the way Hank talked about them, those were going into people so that they would be. Well, originally, House created them so he would have people like robots so that he can control them easier. Hank changed it in order for them to have a better personality, to be all happy and good temperament, or whatever he said on the what scale was that they used? I forget. They have like a little scale or whatever they use for personality. And so, and she was like, he was telling Lucy it's like the gold standard. Or the Congresswoman had like the gold standard because she was so mild tempered or something like that. And so I'm wondering how the chip plays a part with the virus, because he said people won't even know they're there. But if they're sending out a
well,
virus that would kill off most of the population or mutate it, then why even have people with the chip in them? Or
we'll look at the way that when he used the chip, right? That he
mm-hmm,
used them to make the chip, right?
right.
Well, what if the only reason that the chip would be any useful on that level would be to make the virus better to do whatever they're
Mm-hmm.
doing with it. So they'd have the same type of routine, but instead of making chips, they would be making the virus, doing whatever they're doing with it. And they wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have to worry about being infected because if they got infected and something happened to them, they're being controlled, so they wouldn't have that fear or anything. So they can use them for that. Or if they're all a bunch of super mutants or
And see,
ghouls
that's
or
where I'm
anything.
trying to figure out where they're going to go between the
You know what I
chip and
mean?
what they're calling phase 2.
I mean, he could have it in several groups, just like he said, and
Right.
then he would have several different things, like workers, or I mean, it could be anything.
And so that's why I don't really have a question so much as a crazy open discussion on what could be.
I
Trying to just figure
I
out where
would
they're
say
going with.
knowing what the how the enclave works
I'm just
is,
curious on people's
if
thoughts on it
they
because
have
it
a
made me
virus,
wonder. I'm
they
sorry.
would. Well, then I was just going to say if they have the virus, they already have it at that facility and it's already ready to go,
Mm-hmm.
probably on a missile or something. And because the way the enclave think is, at least in the game, the way that they were originally, and that seems like original enclave, that anybody who's been on the surface is a mutant and they should die. That's just the way they've always been. So I don't know what their phase two would be to be like, because it seems like they got a lot of people there, so that'd be enough for them to repopulate what they need to do.
Right. So that's what I don't understand the chip then. What if you're just going to send this off to everybody and
That
either
almost seems
permanently
like
use it or
another.
kill them off? Then what is the value of the chip? If there's, I guess, for their own people. But then he didn't say it. Hank said something about how the individuals, like he already sent out. What did he say? Did he say R&D or something?
Yes, something like that.
Or I forgot what he said. Something whatever department he's already sent out the individuals, and they're already going to be following whatever orders that were predetermined. And are they the ones that are going to take the virus and send it out? So that way they can kind of, however they're
Unless
going to.
unless Hank was working for someone completely different that we haven't seen yet, and it wasn't the Enclave at all.
But Hank had the Enclave.
The chips, yeah, but I'm just saying maybe.
No, he had the Enclave Pip Boy. Remember, because she enacted
Yeah,
Phase
I
2.
understand that, but I'm saying this chip thing could have been maybe something beyond that.
But they know about the chip because at the
They
end
know
when
everything.
they're hearing the radio signals from all the things, and you hear Hank's communications about the chip when he first gets there. You hear his son, among other little
Yeah,
bits.
because having the virus and the chip doesn't really like that doesn't make any sense.
That's why I was asking. And like I said, I don't know how to phrase the question, James. I'm sorry. I'm confused as where my chips gonna fall. Where are the chips falling with the virus?
That's all right. A little mystery's good, I guess.
It's got me. I love a good mystery. It makes my brain
I
take
think you're
over.
going to see more of the virus when we start understanding where this super mutant's coming from, because that's definitely what he's fighting against.
Oh yeah, and that was another thing too. Yeah, we seen him for a brief moment of an episode, and I will say this: our Ghoul Cooper, when it comes to like choices, if this was the game, like if the TV series, like we were playing the game through it, the series, his choice making, let me tell you, boy, he tells everybody to go fuck off. Because you have no idea how many times you run into a group. I think I can't make 2 steps in New Vegas without somebody popping up on me and be like, "Hey, can you help me do this or can you help me do that?" I'm like, "Oh, all the friends, all the helping," and Cooper's like, "Nah, man, I ain't doing your war. Screw your war. Fuck you, Lucy. You're all right. I'm going to see my family. Fuck House, fuck the super mutants." The Enclave, which I think he's going to run into, that's going to be a hell of a running into since House mentioned how Cooper has always and House have been mathematically kind of intertwined with this third party, and the third party being um, the Enclave. Trying to get a good screenshot here. That's going to be an interesting little mix, and his wife also being and kid being in Colorado. That's going to be. I can't wait to see where that story is going to end up going in season 3, and how they're going to play next season too, because they have sort of what's happening on the strip. House is still there. Cooper's gone. He's left with the doggy, and he's headed off to Colorado, which I'm assuming they're going to show all that his kind of journey, and then we're also going to get the battle on the strip between, or at least the first battle on the strip. I don't know how many we're going to get, but the first one being against the NCR and the Legion, and how Lucy feels like she kind of caused this war, and you got and the Legion looked at like they had quite a bit more numbers than the NCR, but that's just me. I'm curious the next season where they're gonna again. They kind of just threw some of this in at the end, but yeah, chaos and enslave whoever is left. But that they definitely do love to bring the chaos. But I mean, yeah, we'll see. Because House is still here. He's still going to be popping up. He's making sure that he's there. I did enjoy the scene between them, even when they first kind of see each other again. And our girl is super emotional because Daddy, he took it out of her hands and turned himself into a robot. And it was very sad. I think I even got, was it this? It might be this one. There it is. I even got the teardrop, Carl. I captured her emotion.
Yeah, to wipe away the smudge.
Yeah.
I still think it would almost be cool if it showed his final manipulation that he really didn't do that. He just tricked her again.
And
But
that
you
would
never
be
know.
messed up.
Yeah, that would. You never know with him.
It was sad though, like, because even, it was all fun and games, right? He was being an asshole and stuff, but somehow she still didn't really want Daddy to go. And she didn't want him pressing the button, that's for damn sure. She was like, no, I didn't get all the information, you piece of shit. Fuck me over again. Now you're a robot, and I'll never know. I'll never know what it truly. I'll never know if I caused the Great War you did, Daddy. It's all right though. She's got Maximus.
So you know what I don't understand either? Like, okay, that head was supposed to be controlling all them chips, right? Well, how is it being controlled now if the head's smashed?
Well, no, the head is downloading from her. Let me get to it. All right.
Yeah, but that would still be giving them the commands, right?
No, not completely. I think I figured out when I was watching through, and I was taking. Hey, I gotta find the head. I gotta get.
But that was supposed to be like the central computer, right?
Yes and no. I think the way he don't tell her everything. All right, her head is attached to all of the things, and it's being run through in programming the units, I believe. And then I don't think she fully took them. Like it takes down the units after they're programmed. Like
He was using her personality to make the things, once they attach to people, have a good personality. So when she destroyed the head, she just destroyed
The
that ability.
personality. Okay.
Yeah, the ability to program more units like that.
Right. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you, James. See? Come in handy,
So
man.
all the new ones are just like nothing, man. Pretty much.
Well, their control, like that device, I'm sure there's more to it than just this, because what he's using, that dial he was using, this part is Hank adding to what House already had. So if you remember back in, what was it, like the first 2 episodes, and House was testing out his equipment, he wasn't using a head in order to create the chip, because remember the chip was still exploding everyone.
Yeah.
He had to tinker the chip in order to make the frequency right, and that's what he was doing with our merchant, and that was a whole different device. He didn't need a head in order to get the chip to work. He was using, like James said, the head to get her personality. He said her personality rated on their scale like
Okay.
whatever it was, like the
And
gold standard.
any unit that's already been programmed will still have it. Like all those people that were
Will always
making
be
the new
dead.
stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
they'll still be, like they are or whatever. It just you can't make any new ones now like that.
My bigger question here, James, you see this thing right here? It's a controlled, forced time food pump.
Tube food pump.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's feeding her, keeping the head alive.
How does that even work? There does
It
it
don't. It
digest?
don't
That's my big.
don't ask questions.
Sorry.
Don't.
When we wondered how she survived, folks, remember we first saw it in the last episode, and we I
Yeah.
think we came to the conclusion like he picked her out recently, right? He kind of told Lucy in the last episode, this episode, he picked her, and she rated whatever, and so he kind of, I guess, hooked her into this device, but just her head.
Now you got to remember how they sold House's technology. So
Well,
his
yeah, I get the
his
helmet
technology was
aspect of the
not
brain.
for us to
Why
understand.
would he not just put the brain in a jar and do some fuckery? This, I mean, I get it. It's kind of creepy as shit watching it, and she gets all freaked out when the lady and the sound of the tube and everything is pretty horrific. But other than that, look, I don't like to nitpick my shows, and I love me some Fallout. But what the fucking fuckery?
You
Am I?
can't understand the technology. That's
Here you
all.
go. There's a good one right there. There's nothing. There's the food right there. You see the bits, the little splatter bits underneath there. I mean, where does it go? It just, if it said water, like moisture, maybe I could kind of. It said food, like a feeding tube.
Yeah. Yeah. It just. Yeah. No.
It's not for you to understand.
Yeah,
Maybe there's like a little like Roomba that splits it up afterwards or something.
Okay. When he cut her head off, he also cut off her arsehole and sewed it onto the back of her neck.
Yeah, it's one of
still
those
doesn't
suits that all
digest.
makes
That
sense.
doesn't compute. That's not how the body works, or even the
I
head.
know.
And this right here is not. Look, I know House had this on him to help him keep alive in his little Vita chamber, but that little fucking whatever cryo chamber he was in, I call it a Vita chamber, but his cryo chamber, that shit, he had his whole body attached,
Yeah, the helmet was just the only used to work his computers
his
and stuff.
brain. It gets the brain going.
That's where his brain controlled the rest of that
So I
computer.
get the helmet aspect of this, but why did he
Now
have
the
to chop her
feeding,
head off? If he's going to attach a feeding tube, you can tell me you can't have like strapped her down and drug. I don't know, done something. I don't know.
and even House had like he had a feeding tube and all that stuff, but he had like all kinds of other stuff, and like you said, he had his whole body. There was not no just a head floating there.
And how long is she supposed to survive like this? I love how Lucy's like, well, you're kind of alive. I mean, all the modern technology. And shit.
Technically, she was right. They could have just taken her brain and put in a thing like anything. There's several things. There's the Fisto looking ones. There's
Mm-hmm. Well, we know Bud was in a little jar
yeah.
type robot situation.
So technically, she wasn't wrong.
And we know that, and you were telling me, and I can't remember which game it was in, but the Nuka-Cola dude, he was in like a jar type situation, kind of like
Yeah, that's a
Futurama. Reminds me kind of like Futurama type shit.
Which I think that's the only reason they kind of did that, because there was kind of like a little tilt to that, because he said kind of the same thing, like kill me.
Yeah, but it's still, that's where it irritates me sometimes. That's the only thing. If I'm these are the kind of things I'm going to gripe about. I got to be fair. I enjoy them giving the Easter egg to a game, but at least come on, man, make it a. Out of all the fuckery, Carl, you're going to tell me it's the best. This is the best we get. It's a fucking feeding tube that goes nowhere.
Look, there's a dude walking around that don't have a nose.
That's explainable through the virus and through.
There's death claws. No, it's not. It's all a
Mhm.
fantasy show, so you just got to go with
No,
this
no,
part
you
also.
can. I
There's
can
a dude
explain
that
this.
has a
Look,
rotten arm
no,
that falls off
no,
of him
James, don't. No, there's a difference between
and a mouth
realistic.
on him.
Not, I shouldn't say realistic sci-fi, but like there's stretching science and making it fiction, and then there's just bullshit. And I can stretch that
Bullshit.
there is
Bullshit.
nuclear.
Oh shit.
They just straight hang. Yep, you're right. You know what? Fuck it. We'll do it. We're doing it.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Now again, I haven't watched all of the Fallout. I say watched all of Fallout. I haven't played through all the Fallout games, and it looks like all the bits just go right down into the pan.
Well, that's what that light's there for. It cleans it all up. There you go.
That means
See,
she's
that's
not
technology.
she's not taking in anything. It's just,
Yeah, it's to keep her brain alive somehow.
and it doesn't even look like food. It looks like blood.
Oh,
Look, if it had said like a water moisture control situation, I could have believed that, James. Even though I know that's still not like realistic, it's I could have stretched that, the fact that it's keeping her, whatever's left of her, moisturized, can be absorbed that way. But the food aspect is not being absorbed in that way. Your body, to get the nutrients from the food like that, you have to break it down. Maybe I can get the water situation. It's keeping her face from. They should have just put her in a fucking jar to begin with.
yeah, that's why the Nuka-Cola guy at least somewhat would make a little more, even though, like, you know, it's still, but he's in a liquid.
It's still, I get it. It's still fuckery, but it's somehow it's more believable. I don't know. I'm whatever. Fine. It's she's being fed, staying alive. Damn it,
He only
Fallout.
needed to go alive for a certain amount of time.
That's where I had to bring my
24
rating
hours.
down a little bit from. I would have given it a 9 if it wasn't for such things.
And if you want to get technical, if you can, you know, if it's software, if it's digital, those little devices, you can just make a copy from device to device. Once you have one, you should be able to make copies. You shouldn't have to have the head to make every device necessarily.
It seemed extra, like they were just trying to make a reference to, like Carl said, the Nuka-Cola guy, because she says the same kind of thing he says when I guess you go in to kind of make the decision to keep him or not. I haven't played through that, so I'm not sure. I forget which game. Which game was that in again, Carl?
That's in 4. It's a DLC.
Okay.
The Nuka-Cola DLC.
So just like with the NCR, how they showed the sniper shooting, that's straight from New Vegas, the intro to the game, like when you first load the game up. They're putting those little Easter eggs in there, but it's like forced in a way that I don't appreciate.
Yeah, that
I
one was a little
appreciate
bit
what they're
too
doing. I don't appreciate how they're doing it. If that makes sense. Like, if you're gonna throw it in there, at least, I don't know. But then they wanted to also see, they're trying to link it in with House's equipment, that headset. So I guess that's why they had to do it this way as opposed to the jar. But again, like you said, James, it just, other than for shock value and her saying that line to do the Easter egg, it just seemed like I didn't appreciate it. I guess we're supposed to be stupid. Fuck it. Yes, the head is able to survive with the feeding tube. And apparently it can talk still as well.
Yeah, without lungs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somehow she's breathing. Yeah, there you go, James. Yeah. Like I said, it don't completely make sense.
You know, zombie, it's every bit of the stuff we were talking about. It's the same thing with zombies.
But it's just so stretched. They stretch it too far for me. I guess because people have kind of made lore on zombies. This just seems like this is, and their zombies here are not zombies, they're ghouls. And ghouls are a creature even outside of this world of sci-fi. And they do eat people, actually. Like the supernatural kind of side of the ghouls, I believe they actually eat people too. I think there's like a ghoul or something like a ghoul that's very similar.
I just today uploaded a video why, you know, we like stuff like this, apocalyptic shows and stuff, why we get into it, the end of the world and all that stuff, right? And, you know, it's funny how many people go, I would love this to happen. I would love the apocalypse to happen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they wouldn't, you know, when you really think about it. Hell no, you know. I
You
like
might have fun for a few days.
I like internet. I like TV. I like going to the grocery store and there being stuff, and you know.
They're
But
gonna love their Mad Maxing it out for a few days until resources get scared and
Yeah, people
you
freak
know.
out when there's a storm. You can't go buy bread and milk, much less an apocalypse.
I know, right?
Well, they just go loot all the stores. Fine.
You know, the appeal is there's no more taxes, no mortgage, no have to get up and go to a job with a boss, you know, and that kind
Right.
of thing. But that's a fantasy, right? That's just
Well,
a fantasy.
it's gonna be a lot harder work, right? Because now you got to go find that food.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
your food might be your neighbor. You never know.
Yep. And good luck with that house. You better defend it with your life. Somebody just comes in. We see in the wastelands
And
how
ammo
easily
runs
it
out
changes.
eventually.
Well, we see how the luck changes around here, man. I mean, Maximus, I ain't gonna lie, I did love the fight scene though. That was pretty cool. Um, I did love him showing off his armor. He got the rocket. Look, I think I got the missile. There it is. I got it. It took me like 2 minutes to get that though. I'll stop and go to try to just get the damn missile. But it was cool because look, he was like, "Oh hell yeah!" I love his face when he realized he looked down. It said "weapons activated." What, live ammunition or some shit like that? Well, let's start the party. And so that was really cool. Yeah, I did I like there's a lot I do like about the series as a whole and the episode. I can't help it. My brain, James. Somehow I can accept some sci-fi, but some things I'm like, you just took it too far. You stretched it more than I'm willing to go.
But you know, James, that in this universe, they also have things like the Mothman. They have Bigfoot. They have all of them.
Oh
It's all
yeah.
the
In
thing.
in
And there's
the in
ghosts.
the games.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a ghost. I'm dealing with some kind of supernatural hotel or something. I don't. It's like I don't know what the fucker is with
and
that.
there's cults that like were underground and was doing human sacrifices and all kinds of stuff. It has a lot of weird things. Cthulhu is a thing.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
There's so much. I didn't even know all of those bits. I know. I think I remember at least half of them that we talked about, or some of them you told me. Because I remember somebody talking about Mothman recently too, on one
yeah,
of the
that's all in
Fallout feeds.
'76 actually. Like
Yeah, because they've been doing a lot with 76, so that's been like popping up on my feed a lot
there's a lot
on
of
X.
all the weird things like that.
Not just to mention the normal creatures on the outside that got all jacked up, the roaches, the crab things, the swamp creature dude in 3. Even in New Vegas, what there's like some weird insects, like a big ass moth looking thing that damn near killed me last time I encountered that. You said I only encountered the babies.
Yeah,
I don't know if I want to encounter the
and
moth.
like the dragonfly thing you was asked about earlier. That's a thing in 4 that spits venom on you and fire sometimes.
Right, and the ants, right? The big
Yeah,
fire ants.
and that's like not the cryptid. The cryptids is all a different thing.
So yeah, having an armored suit like this comes in handy in the wastelands. As I'm finding out in New Vegas, I wish I had what he's got right now. I would. I got some
No,
piece of shit leather.
you're working on it. You should be getting to the point of some sort of armor soon.
Everybody's got shit armor. It's not even like 3 where you instantly get like some decent armor from one of the little raiders or whatever. You know how many people I've been through already, and I ain't got. I got some shitty metal. It doesn't even. It has no protection.
That's what's good about 4. Like you literally have mad power armors all over the place. You can just like park them and go get them back later. Or you could. What I do is I keep them at my gas station. I'll have like several of them, and you can
All
make
the
some things
explosions.
from them.
This is a great shot right here. Like he's getting to fly high, and all the explosions right in front of the porn store.
And I'm pretty sure that that store there is one of the things I was talking about that isn't supposed to be there. That's supposed to be in like Boston.
Hmm. Well,
But
they
they
made
just,
sure to put it in the shot.
oh yeah,
Look, he gave a no face. It was that good. He was super excited about his armor. Look, I feel him on that, man. Like,
His faces, man. What's that?
you don't like his. He was like, oh hell yes! Like, dude, he took out the Deathclaw with one little, like the missile. That's pretty fucking sweet.
I do like how they showed off the jetpack, which is a thing that's in when you get your armor in 4 that you have to actually kind of work to get.
Mm-hmm. His armor's pretty sweet too. He was able to slice and dice them. He had some missiles, but that was what 10 Deathclaws or so. There was a few of them there, quite a few. For one man, he was soldiering it out. And look, it's the King's School back there, right?
Yep.
Poor Kings. They just.
It would have been kind of funny if they'd have put another one of them out just to get blown up or hit by the death claw, because
That would have been
the
funny.
Kings never win.
Like, we've been somewhere around this area. That's where I possibly encountered some robo ladies. They were nice. Remember, we paid 100 caps to Netflix and chill.
Yep. See, James, that really drove me crazy. There was a nice black scene in that one.
And even in, like, again, great little battle between them. And I do love how they're using the real film, so you get these different little, like, effects or flares from the camera and stuff like that. There's another good shot of the school.
So one thing that Kaiser, the new Kaiser, said when he was, cheering on his troops after he took control, he said, let's go to Vegas and take it over, or whatever, and we'll build a palace, my palace, Caesar's palace. Is there a Caesar's palace in the game already like there is in the real world, or is that like a little play on him saying that? Is that a play on there's going to be a Caesar's palace in Vegas, kind of thing? Because in the real world, there is a Caesar's palace.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know if there is one?
I don't know, actually.
In this world?
That's kind of how they got their whole Caesar thing, because they found that stuff, and they didn't know that it was called Caesar. That's why they call it Kaiser, and that's where they got their whole look.
Oh, so it comes from Vegas, Caesar's palace.
Yeah, but there isn't like technically that there now, because there's all kinds of other little casinos and stuff. But that was already a thing kind of for them.
Okay,
that's
cool.
where they originally found.
Was it always called Caesar's Palace, or was it like a different hotel that just was themed like?
Well, they found the Caesar stuff, and they found like some of the armors, and that's where they got all the looks from. And then they researched. Well, they didn't technically research, but they found some history and stuff. Because obviously their history isn't what it really is.
Right.
With the Coliseums and stuff, they thought that's why they dressed up in like football gear and stuff like that, because they thought that's what it was, like and all that kind of stuff.
Because I know they found like some of this, like the football padding and stuff like that. They found.
Yeah, but that's why like some of it like looks like some of the stuff you'd see them wearing at like the hotel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. He just was. He needed that spear. He's just borrowing it. He'll give it back to him later, I'm sure.
Personally, I don't want to be a part of a group that wears skirts.
You don't like the wardrobe?
I mean, I'm not trying to be, mean. It's just not me.
It's just you don't want to. Well, look, he's kind of got possibly pants. And did the original Kaiser? He might have had pants. Where did I get a big shot at him? Damn it!
It helps you out, in the wasteland. You don't want to be swampy.
You don't want to be swampy. I was trying to see if maybe like the higher ups, like they got to wear pants, but I can't tell. I guess it's still a skirt. I can't. It seems like his goes all the way down, like it's a full thing. Like even said original Caesar or Kaiser. So James, maybe you don't have to wear the skirt if you go up the chain of command enough.
Yeah, I've never been one to, join a group, really, anyway.
You don't want to band together with your fellow brothers in arms?
Probably not.
Yeah, it's probably a good call because it didn't seem like they were the greatest of.
That's what I've always said. Like, I'd probably be one of the raiders that was stupid and got shot, though.
I don't know. I'd been more like the ghoul, just kind of making it through life on my own.
I do love me some Ghoul. I do love how he told Lucy, what was it when he actually meets him back in the vault. Where are we at? And it's past this point.
What say ye?
Oh, that whole thing from the moment he like shoots him and stuff, and he's just like, "Oh, if it were me, it wouldn't just be your ass bleeding out all over the floor." But it ain't up to me, is it? Kind of, or some shit like that. He throws the gun to her, or slides it over. And yeah, what say you, Volty?
Yeah, that was his way of being like, no hard feelings. He might have fisted me, but it was still cool.
Mm-hmm. He gets it. Family's it's a fucked up thing, man. Yeah, but this whole again, the Ghoul. I mean, his lines are some of the best ones I think out of the series. He's always gets the good lines. And he did. He shot him in the ass. Just the way he tells him. He told him though. I might have to clip that because that's a good clip. Let's see. I might have to work that out. There's a few of the Ghoul's phrases that are actually pretty good. But Lucy, she had other options. Like she did the thing, and I'm wondering how Lucy is going to fare now, having been through the wastelands a bit, and even Daddy doing what he did to her. How is she still going to keep that justice as best as she can? I mean, I don't know. She did, I wouldn't say she did Daddy wrong, to be fair. So she might not be completely broken, and she's got Maximus now.
And being as she's used the chip twice, basically, do you think that maybe her dad's way of thinking might have be getting more to her than you really think?
Right, because if they go down to the vault, or she shows him that, knowing that the Legion are kind of about to come crashing in, are they going to try to robotize them or just capture them? And the NCR's there, so they've got to, they're going to play a role. House is still kind of bopping around. So we got a few parties here at the finale, and then of course we'll talk about the Brotherhood here in a minute. But yeah, just even with what is on the strip, they're gonna have quite a little battle on their hands. And I mean they're pretty much there. They're like this is the outskirts. They're approaching, and they're not stopping. And the NCR did not have quite the like. It didn't seem as though they had this amount. It seemed like they had maybe only one or two at the most of the amount that the Legion had. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish groups there. Unless that's supposed to be the NCR, but I thought that was the Legion. So I kind of got confused there.
Yeah, I think that's just the Legion. But maybe not.
That's what I thought it was them, because he's, marching in.
And the NCR's only hope would really be like, the Legion really doesn't seem to have many guns, so maybe they can just snipe them all if they're lucky.
Well, maybe, I don't know if they can make it to, because Maximus Cooper and I can't remember if it was Thaddeus. Is that his friend's name with the?
Yeah.
They went to that little outpost of the NCR last episode and got some ammunition and stuff like that, some weapons. Depending on how far away that was from where they're at now, I don't know if he can be like, hey, look, you remember about your weapons over here? Because they had the big Gatling guns and stuff like that, or whatever they had all kinds of shit in that warehouse. So we'll have to wait and see with the next season how the Battle of the Strip is going to go. And then we still have, of course, the Enclave. We're going to see Cooper going to find his family. And again, House been fucking with him, man. The way House like called him up on the phones when they're walking to leave and stuff, that was fucked up. You let him know, like, you messed up, you didn't do the right thing. No, you go to jail. Which
And
I'm assuming that's probably how, in the end, like, he doesn't get acceptance into the vault. Like, the wife, he tells her, like, look, I'll take all the blame so that she and the daughter can still probably get into a vault when, shit hits the fan. So I'm
yeah,
assuming
so he
because,
basically told her like you just smile and act surprised, pretty much. Like you didn't know nothing.
at least that's what I'm assuming now, because I was always wondering kind of what happened between Barb and Cooper and how he ended up away from his family. If he had his daughter when the bombs go off. I'm thinking they're kind of starting to put the pieces together now, or showing us with him getting taken here and being charged and stuff like that. I'm assuming he possibly, it's just they're not going to accept him into the vault now for whatever reason, like whatever contract or something that they have signed, or just because of the fact that he was doing the shady things. He's not going to get acceptance, or it could be something totally different. You guys let us know what you think. And James, if you got any thoughts on why Cooper, if anything from this episode maybe clarified it, why Cooper wasn't able to be with his family after the bombs dropped, or you guys in the chat, or let us know after on the rewatch in the comments. All your guys' thoughts. You got any thoughts, James?
No.
That's okay. All right, let's see. Again, I like how, again, when you get these little effects from the camera because they're using the actual film. A lot of that kind of production stuff I do appreciate. There's some story holes that I'm not too happy with, but I do love all of these little bits. No worries, Debbie. We appreciate you hanging with us. You guys hanging for the long haul tonight.
What's up, Debbie? Yeah, I mean, the show's shot real well. The acting's good, and it does look like they put a lot of effort into the sets and the little details and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I do enjoy that. Oh, look, yeah, oh, it's cracked. Oh, this was fucked up too. The Deathclaw is a piece of shit. I almost forgot. You realize where the Deathclaw actually like grabbed him and threw him around? Where is it? Yeah. He grabbed him up by his panel. Below the belt. He went below the belt and grabbed the panel and was like shaking him around. That's just fucked up. But it was just pretty good. And then you can even see like it shows the display inside of the helmet. And like the helmet, he's pretty jacked at this point. He had to get out the suit. All the
And that's stuff you see from part 4 as well. Like when you see like the suit like that, that lets you know like what you got to go repair at your little repair station and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And when he got out of the suit, you notice he picked up that pull cue.
Right.
That's the most useless weapon in the whole game.
Well, he was trying to soldier out, man. Look, it was getting rough, okay? I mean, look at the armor. It's pretty. I do like how it shows, like, the armor getting jacked up. It's all scratched up and shit, and the helmet's all getting fucked up. And so it was getting tough on him. It was hard. And he just remembering. And this, again, I like how they go back to at least him remembering about his dad, telling him what he told him before the bomb went off there. And really him trying to make the world better. Essentially, he's thinking, like, this is it. Like, I'm not going to make it. I'm basically going down, but at least maybe I can do something to try to make it a little better. And it might be a dumb decision, but he was powering through. And kind of like a gladiator or something. He was ready to go. But look, our dude, he, like you said, James, he realizes, like, it's just a boy, man. He's out there fighting all these Deathclaws, and we in here like some scared little rats betting and shit. He's like, let's go save, like he said, let's go save our town. That was pretty good. They weren't willing to go back out. But luckily, the NCR come in just in time, which again, like I said, I like it, but a little cop out. But that's okay. I like this again. They're going back to when he got saved, and kind of remembering it, getting that courage to continue the fight, and what he's fighting for. But he gets saved. It was still, again, this was one of the cooler shots I did like, even though I don't like how they kind of threw the NCR in there. It was really cool to see the sniper kind of do his thing, just like in the games. In the Deathclaws, he's like, thank you. It was funny too, because he's like, was that you? And he's like, nah, man, it was the other dude. I hadn't reloaded yet.
Which I found kind of funny too, because that gun, that's the thing with that gun that he has, the reloading, man.
It takes the time away, man.
Yeah, I hate
in between shots.
I never use that gun for that purpose.
Look, he's trying to soldier through too, man. He's an arm down, but it didn't stop him. He put caps on the line for this. He got to make sure he gets his money back. But the NCR is here, and it was kind of funny as far as her saying, I think we'll take it from here. And he's like, he has that face again, Carl, and he's just like, yeah, I think that'll be best. I forget how he phrased it, but it was funny.
Yeah, the idiot Savat perk strikes again.
He just lucks out. He seems that he kind of looked out pretty good here, I think, in the long run. He had the power source. He still technically has the power source. I don't know if they know it's behind the thing, but he's got the girl, right? He's got the castle. He had the armor. I'm sure he keeps getting armor, right? Like this dude has had all the armors. Maximus is doing his thing. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the ghoul is cool, but damn, Maximus is getting all the bits. And now he gets, they get to figure out how to defeat all the craziness. But I think there's at least one more thing I want to go over before we end the stream tonight, and that is going to be the Vaulties and the Roaches, and then two more things. And then of course after the episode, I'm trying to make sure I use all the bits. Oh god, there's so many. They do the episode where everything's kind of intertwined, so I'm trying to find certain points. Alright, so this is the beginning. We did that. You got a little bit of those. Again, this was always good bits right here. He's using the arm appropriately. Like, he might not be attached, but he still made use of it. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. So again, there's all kinds of stuff written all over the walls too. I think at one point it's like fuck Vault-Tec. But they're going to do some justice, I guess. I don't know what they thought there is. Fuck Vault-Tec. I don't know what they thought they were going to do here, but a girl tries to save him. She gets knocked into the button, and it's fine, right? There's nothing there. They must not be that big, Carl.
No, not at all. Nothing there.
Oh, God. They didn't even really try to get that lady was right. Vaulties are the worst, man. They didn't even try to have no weapons around or nothing. They just we can just man through this. Like, y'all have no idea.
Well, that chick was straight up like one of the red shirts from Star Trek. You kind of knew. Like, they land on the planet with the red shirt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's going to happen to them.
Well, they all pretty much got taken.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting them all to be taken like that. I figured like a couple of them would have survived somewhere else, but I guess That's what they get.
Or he smacked the thing off of him. They're like, and now again, another. I guess I'm just not supposed to ask a question, but other than the one roach that tried to go after Lucy's brother when they first get released, and he's using the chair to kind of like fight it off, I guess. They seemingly kind of don't bother him after that. They kind of like dude pushes him out. It's like, oh, there's no room for you. You can't come in. And instead of
Yeah,
going after him, like, yeah, he's pushed on the ground, but they just like,
it was some plot armor, I think, on this one because I would said that to you before. Like, it was just like, okay, he hides under a chair.
because he's on the ground rolling, get underneath his desk, and then like, and the door just closes and shit on him, like, and then we come back to him, and old girl's still alive somehow, and all the roaches are seemingly dead with all the other Maltese.
Yeah, like how is that a thing?
But we're not. I know it's just to get through the scene, I guess, and kind of get rid of them. They're not important anymore, and it was a way for because I remember something on Twitter. People were asking if the roach farm was going to come back into play. So, in the way that the lady talked about Balties, they ain't gonna make it for that long because they're soft and shit, and they was pretty stupid.
Well, I guess they would be happy the roaches are fed and will be grown now.
But it looks like the roaches. I don't know if they are. This one's dead. That one's dead.
Yeah.
They didn't look like they were. It don't look like they survived. I don't think that lady's gonna be happy with. I mean, they got a lot of pit boys though. Those are worth some money, right? Oh, I didn't even see it till just now. Holy shit, Carl! It's a bobblehead.
Oh yeah. That's pretty cool.
I'm sorry, kid. James, these you find throughout the games as like a collectible, and they give you like pluses on your skills. At least they did in 3. I can't speak for New Vegas, but that's a thing.
I can't tell what that one is. That one has his hand up like he always does, but I can't
Like he's
tell.
like thumbs up. And that's kind of. And it's what's funny is like when you go and you find these, a lot of times it's like in the vault or somewhere where like the vaulties have all been screwed up and like jacked up and shit. Or you just like find the bobblehead.
And you're like, yay. I got a new special.
And there's like total chaos in the room, but the bobblehead's just sitting there, not knocked over or
He's
anything.
supposed to collect it.
Yeah, that was a big thing I asked. Like, okay, did the roaches go out another door, or what happened to the roaches? If they're dead, how did that happen?
Right, like
And
how did they kill them
How
all?
did that chick survive? I see the screwdriver stuck in the one, so maybe everybody died, and only one was left, and it attacked her. She was the only one alive, but she got it with a screwdriver, and
Right.
I mean, it just doesn't seem.
Yeah, I didn't. This scene
It's one of those things. I'm like, I'm just not going to ask those questions and keep watching.
Right. It's another one of the things where it kind of upset me as far as the little plot holes, I guess. And I love the fact that they gave us the whole attack of the rad roaches and the Vaulties being taken out in that way. It just, like you said, James, it was a little, it didn't quite make sense. And again, how they didn't even hardly go after Lucy's brother. That's too much plot armor even for me.
That's almost like Superman plot armor.
I mean,
Batman plot armor.
That was something. But
They don't like short people.
And I mean, I guess the roaches, if any of them did live, they can act like roaches that could have scurried away. I guess, maybe.
But you would have thought they would have just been feeding the hell out of these motherfuckers.
I'm just saying, just for the. But I mean, that seems
Every
like
time I've seen them in a building, they're usually hanging around. Like they ain't been. That's where they at.
yeah, they just but I'm just saying, like in the real world, roaches will scurry around if you turn the light on.
But where did they go? They're big ass fucking roaches.
Maybe there's a hole somewhere we can't see off the panel. I don't know.
But you still see the propaganda posters back there.
Yeah, they're always great.
Get the effort is the Something necessary, maybe. I don't know what that one says. You got a hard work one over here. Yeah, and I think there's another little vault, like keepsake looking box or something right here. Yeah, they don't loot this shit. That's another thing too.
It's a lunchbox, is what that was.
Is that the lunchbox? It
But
could be. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I couldn't tell from that angle. It could be
which
one of the
that's the
lunchboxes.
thing. Well, it might not be, but that's what it kind of looks like.
It could be. Because that's a thing in the game you can collect. And again, they don't collect shit, Carl. But like her Pip-Boy it's still good. And look, it does have a crack on it though, actually, possibly. I can't tell if that's a crack or not. It might not be. It's a little bloody.
I don't know. Maybe in the shot where he's pulling her on a cart, he's got that little statue in his back pocket, and we just don't see it.
Yeah, he picked it up. They just didn't have time to show it.
That's what gives him the strength to pull her ass.
Right? There you go. See, we figured it out. He was the strength one. See, just like in the game, they give you everything you need. See, you come in, you got a saber, your little bobblehead, and you're good to go. Right on out into the wastelands they go. Now, where is he going to go next season? I don't know, because he called out to Lucy and them, but nobody answered him, I don't believe. So, is he going to head back to the vaults? To home?
Well, and the Enclave were aware that he was reaching out, that he's out there. So,
And he did say something about Dad, what's supposed to happen to our vaults, which I thought they were going to release. And he even kind of was insinuating the way he was talking that what he read made him think that that virus was going to be released into his vault. And I was like, well, that didn't make sense. But it makes sense now with Hank saying that the outside's experiment, so phase 2 is being enacted, and why he wanted Lucy back in the vault. He didn't want her on the outside. Because he knew where he was going and what he was doing and what the end result was. And if they were going to send stuff out, I'm assuming the vaults, or especially his vault in particular, might have been one of the safer vaults that was going to be protected from whatever that was.
well, in the original, like I said, the original thing for the virus was like they had missiles that had it on there, which going to shoot it and just kill everybody on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be. I mean, they like doing a little Easter egg to the game. That could be what the Enclave is all about. But that doesn't necessarily mean like what's the point of the chips?
I know, that's where I get confused with the chips, unless the people that have the chip are going to be part of how it gets dispersed, maybe. But I'm assuming the Enclave is going to end up sending something into New Vegas because they don't have access to that vault anymore.
Well, yeah, and we know that there's satellites and stuff that they've had control over, and I'm assuming they would already have control over that stuff with a place that big for that long.
Well, with Lucy and Maximus there seemingly controlling 38 and her knowing the access to the vault and House being around, I'm assuming if there was any part of the Enclave left in communication there, he's going to try to get them to like shut that down and use the vault and the strip to essentially or eventually fight the Enclave. I know they're going to have to take on the Legion first, and I'm sure he's going to like have some kind of bunker somewhere with some extra protectatrons or some shit. Who the hell knows? And that's really going to be the NCR's only hope. I think we were talking about that before, or like in the Discord the other night, Carl, how they're between House and the NCR, they're possibly going to be able to take out the Legion. But
yeah, so House definitely doesn't like the Legion.
But there's two more parties that might sort of third party this action, which is the Brotherhood, and we're getting ready to talk about what that is. And then, of course, the Enclave and them, because they wanted those chips. Now, I don't know if they're going to be satisfied with the fact that they have enough, or if they're still going to want to take, because it seemed like they wanted to keep control of this.
Yeah.
And House is going to fight back.
And it's a for sure thing that House isn't going, because that says single lost, not no single. So that's like a confirmed. He's either
Then
still
he
in
comes
that
back on the
system or
screen.
he's just, in that Pit Boy sitting there waiting to be found.
Well, he comes back on
And
the
well,
screen.
yeah, and he's come, but that could have been, I don't know. I'm just
Well,
saying
because I
not to
think he was,
confirm.
it's letting us know he's still here. He's not gone. To me, it lets me know he's not just in the Pit Boy. He's still, like, again, he's controlling that signal.
Yeah, he's hiding.
Mm-hmm. Because he wanted to talk to Cooper. So as soon as Cooper pressed the button and put the power in, he came back onto the screen. Not like he wasn't there. Like, I'm sure he was already listening. Like, the button didn't turn him on, and I don't think the power source turned him back on, or the signal. It was him being able to have that power source for whatever he wanted to use it for. And because Cooper was telling House at the beginning, like, why didn't you tell me about a vault here for management? You told me, like, essentially he was telling, that's how he learned about the vaults. He said he'd been
Yeah.
to all these vaults, and it was essentially, I'm trying to get to that first screenshot.
Well, that might be also showing that like he ain't in that Pit Boy anymore, maybe, and he's back where he belongs.
Well, I think he can go back and forth. So, like,
Yeah.
the Pip Boy, and this is all under his control, and he's controlling the signal being sent, where it's being sent. And he didn't tell Cooper about that. And I believe he said something to Cooper about, because he hadn't brought him this. So if you, like, in the game, when I'm asking him questions about the chip, and he tells me, well, until you get me the chip, I'm not telling you any more information. He's like, it's above your pay grade kind of deal. So he wasn't going to tell Cooper about that until he got what he needed. Again, that's how Cooper keeps talking about transactions and stuff like that. So,
see, and I almost thought, like, what if Cooper like took that power thing back? Like, that means that he would probably not be operational.
well, he threatened to do that, but he got enough of what he needed, which was like,
yeah, but
he's
Cooper
not. I
being
don't think he
Cooper,
wants to have a fight with House, because he still wants to get to his family. So he's like, look, I gave you what I promised you. Our transaction's over. I'm not giving you anything else.
but what's his bargaining chip for where he's going now, though?
He doesn't have one. Because he doesn't
Exactly.
know what he's going into, and I don't know if,
Well, that's a pretty big chip, is all I'm saying.
yeah, but if he took it from
That'd be
House,
interesting.
House is still control. Like, I feel like House would have locked him into 38, because House seemingly had access to that signal being lost, because House didn't want to go on the screen. He wanted to make sure that he got what he wanted, and then he pops back in. It's like, hey, old friend.
Yeah.
So he's watching and waiting wherever he's at for someone to, essentially, for Cooper to come back with what he was looking for, or until he dies off.
I was just saying that might be a little bit interesting if he would have done that.
I mean, he could have taken it, but I don't know if he would have been able to leave with it.
That is true. Well, I don't know. The door was kind of busted open.
Well, no, remember when he walks up to the door, he gets his access is granted.
Oh yeah.
So House was watching him. House gave him access. He granted him access into there, and also Hank, I'm assuming, through his Pip Boy, has access. Like, even if if House doesn't want him in there, I think because of the Enclave, because remember House said that even though he had all these fail safes or whatever, the third party
it's always
outclassed him. He said
maybe
even
they're
one
the
of
House.
their cohort or one of their people is already here in the facility. So he was aware that Hank was there. But he couldn't stop it because, again, wherever he doesn't have full control. He doesn't want, I'm assuming, the Enclave to know he's there. So he's hiding because, again, people have tried to destroy him or whatever, and he realizes that he was outclassed by the Enclave. He knows Hank is there messing around, but he doesn't do anything about it because he doesn't have enough. Like, his robots are taken down. It's just him with this Pit Boy and wherever he's at. So he's trying to get Cooper to fight for him.
It's almost like he couldn't go in there without being in that Pit Boy, though, to open up the things and all that stuff. For
Well, I don't
like,
know if that he could, but what would he have been able to do? Because again, if he reveals himself,
well, yeah, but I'm just saying it almost seemed that way to me. Like,
I think
like
he had access down there because he seemingly knew that
he knew it existed, but he didn't really know what was
he
going
knew
on
that
with him.
Hank's wife and child were not there.
Well, maybe.
He couldn't. I'm saying he didn't want to reveal himself. Just like
Yeah.
at the end of the episode where it's like lost signals lost, but he glitches back and goes back away again. He's watching. He's always watching, but he doesn't want to reveal that he's still alive. I think he wants the Enclave or whoever to think he's no longer living. When he's talked about what they did to his body and stuff like that, like people come in and try to do all these things to him and they ransacked his place.
Which I believe that he was talking about the carrier during that. That's what he was talking about.
Right.
That shit.
But either way, I don't think he wants anyone to know he's still alive. Especially the Enclave, because he's talking about the Enclave are still out there. He said he knew that Hank was, he didn't say Hank, but he knew that one of their constituents or whatever was in the facility doing what he was doing. And he sent Cooper down there to get rid of Hank, knowing that his family was not down there.
Yeah.
And hoping that because of, him, kind of fucking with him or whatever, knowing that, and trying to get him to fight for him for the Enclave. But Cooper was like, nah, I got my postcard. I know which direction to go to find my family. Our business transaction is done. I'm no longer working for you. That's the way I took it anyways.
Well, yeah, I see that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It just seems to be that Cooper being Cooper, that seems like that would be something that he could possibly do. I'm not saying he did. I'm saying that could have been a possibility.
He could have taken it back with him. I just don't think House would have let him out of the facility. Like, I think he would have locked it down. Because he would have had to be able to go in and out. And I think he's controlling that door to a degree on who's able to go in and go out. But he knew that if he tried to stop Hank from going in, that would have alerted. He would have eventually alerted to the.
That being that's Enclave, that like they're a little bit even more sophisticated than him. Like they seem to have fail safes for things like that. Like I don't think
That's why he's not wanting to. That's why he didn't stop Hank from going in.
I don't think he had full power to do everything he wanted to, and or he wouldn't have let it go down.
Well, he doesn't have I get where you're coming from with that. I just stick with the fact that I don't think he wanted them to know that he's still around. So if he started doing anything and try to stop Hank would have reported that to the Enclave.
Because otherwise, what was the point of him being in the Pit Boy other than to talk shit to him?
Because he was goading Cooper into dealing with Hank.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but he could have just been like, hey, I can do that anyway.
But this way, Hank he's not aware that it's because of House.
I suppose.
He still is able to remain anonymous to a degree, which he won't with the Pit Boy. See, because when Maximus and Lucy possibly in the next season, if they go back in there and are poking around, they find the Pit Boy, he might reveal himself to them.
That's what
or he might come on the screen. I'm not sure.
But I was thinking like he was using the Pit Boy kind of like how he had to use Victor. Like he can only do certain things.
That's possible. That is possible. I just I saw it differently, but I could see it that way. And we'll have to see. I'm assuming with them showing him at the end again, he's not gone.
Yeah, I'm assuming that Lucy is going to have some conversations with House.
And I wonder too if the president, as Cooper gave him the power source, if he's actually still kicking around. I know technically he's not supposed to be, right, according to lore.
Well, there's part of the lore is he became missing for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was found on the oil rigger thing.
Oh, the rigging.
Rig, yeah. So that's when but I think he died during that time frame, and that's why they didn't have a president for like I can't, however many years they were
Right.
out there. And then the other that's when that computer became the president. So there is a time frame that they can pick up there where they can explain like what he's doing and where what happened to him and things like that
Mm-hmm.
to add more of that lore because that lore is kind of not existing. I mean, I think there's a
Right.
little bit of it, but there's not like much.
Or maybe they'll do some flashbacks and show him off again in that way.
Yeah.
Cause it's just, for the actor to come in like that and that's it. I was hoping they
Well,
might just bring him back a little bit more.
well, it was cool enough. Just 'cause, like I say, he was a voice actor. I believe I can't remember what the dude's name. He was one of the Enclave actual people. Might
Mm-hmm.
have been a Brotherhood of Steel. I can't remember, but he was in one of the games as a voice actor. So it was another one of those things. He wasn't as important as like Ron Perlman because he's in every game and obviously he's a bigger actor. Because people
Right.
actually know who he is, even if you've never known he was in Fallout, you would know he was in however many movies he's been in.
Mm-hmm.
Because that dude there isn't technically like I don't believe he's been in anything that I know of.
We'll see. Maybe they'll bring the president back in some more flashbacks, especially with Cooper getting arrested. I'm assuming they might show a little bit more of what happens after that in the next season as he's getting closer to finding his family.
Yeah, I'd assume he's probably going to come back and at least have some sort of
I
conversation.
caught her tears as well. There was lots of tears in this episode.
All the tears.
But again, Maximus and Miss Lucy, they're together as he tells her, welcome to the wastelands. And it's just the way it is. It's just the way of the wastelands. And we got Cooper and the doggy heading off to Colorado. And he's going to have to truck it.
And
But
there's like
we'll
three
see.
different places he could be heading to. I mean, obviously he's going to where the Enclave is, but there could be a couple other
Well, yeah,
spots.
because he doesn't know where in Colorado, I
Yeah,
don't
that's what
think.
I'm saying. He could find some other areas that would be interesting.
Maybe he's going to have to run into something somewhere and try to find some information on where she could be at. So we might get to see some other vaults from that area in next season. I don't know if he's going to go to like a vault tech facility or the vaults themselves or just talking amongst the town. If there's like a townspeople, I got to go because I know there's not a lot of lore. There's references and maybe a DLC or two that references about Colorado.
Well, there's a whole thing. It's tactics is around
Oh,
in
it's
that area.
tactics. That's which one
Yeah.
it was. Okay.
Now he could be finding them other Brotherhood that's out there. That's a whole different. That's not the ones that we see now. That's a totally different group.
Right.
Now those ain't supposed to be canon, but they could be making them canon with this show. So, because all that's not really canon, like the Vault Zero, none of that stuff. That's technically not canon. Like they're mentioned here and there, but they're not really supposed to be like that game. It wasn't supposed to be a thing. Just because the fact that the Brotherhood in that game don't quite act like the Brotherhood.
Right. I'm gonna have to go back and look. And there's so much lore with Fallout too. So I thought that was one of the places that wasn't really like. There's some places that are mentioned, but they didn't really like go into it in the games. So I couldn't remember if that was one of the places. But I'm gonna go back and really kind of dive into Colorado, so I kind of know a little bit more of the lore for that area.
There's some good stuff on tactics. Just look on that stuff. Just look up Vault Zero. You'll see all that stuff.
And then we
pretty
get, of course, a little propaganda at the end of the episode. And it shows the NCR and a lot of their posters. We get NCR needs you strong, do not eat Don't eat any of that rad food. You don't want any of that. They got better food. Don't eat don't eat that bullshit food. They got like crops and stuff.
Which this is
Careless
kind
talk,
of showing that, the NCR is back in Vegas.
right?
So they're
But I
pushing
know I
propaganda.
keep to myself, Carl. Careless talk costs lives. Keep it real tight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit! It says it's the women of the NCR. Every one of you who serves, it's a slap across Kaiser's face. Tan his hide, ladies. Hmm. I like it. It pans out, and this is another one. Free vials for ghouls. If you remember, the lady talked about how the NCR, at least her group of them, were ghoul friendly,
Well, that's one of the things with the NCR. They wanted rights for everyone.
and they even have their little poster here: free vials for ghouls will keep you. And it even kind of looks like Hank a little bit. I mean, not Hank, but Cooper. Oh, that's funny. And I don't know if it is because I remember they said they worked together at one point. So that would be funny if that is kind of supposed to be like him. I don't think it is, but I don't know, it kind of looked a little bit like him. And see, we get some more just panning out through this strip, showing off kind of how, I guess next season the NCR is going to be posted up here trying to get recruits in. But I mean, I don't know. I guess there's still a slight fortress on the outside that the Legion are going to have to get through before they can breach. But we'll have to wait and see, because right on the outside of that, you kind of see it's all barricaded up and set up, and that's where the Legion, it starts showing them off with, as they
Because
do.
that was the atomic
Crosses.
wranglers.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said that was the atomic wranglers casino. That's like right there as you enter, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Well, they got the Legion set up right there, and they have apparently taken. So I wonder who's going to win, even from the way they're showing this off. I don't know if it's going to be the NCR that actually wins, or it looks like the Legion's taking a few.
Looks like the Legion's on the outside and they're in the inside.
Well, it looks like, but man, they've already got quite a few bodies here. And look, we even get some cannons or something up here on the rooftops. Way up there. And we get lots of bodies. Or skeletons, though. That's interesting. And of course, the final real shot is take your family to the Rockies, letting us know. And I believe this is a bag like the super mutants when they have their little.
That it is.
The bags that they carry with all the parts, all the bits in them.
The blood bag.
Mm-hmm. So I guess again, just maybe insinuating or letting us know that for sure we're going to be going to the Rockies and possibly running into some super mutants.
I mean, that's one thing that they haven't showed yet at all is Jacobstown and all that stuff may or may not still exist somewhere.
Right, and we don't know. Again, that's another one of the parties that could play next season, depending on how things work out between the Legion and stuff like that, with Lucy and all them. All these sort of factions still at play. They talked about a great war, which seemed to be against the Enclave, but we got sort of a mini war about to happen between the NCR and the Legion, with Lucy and Maximus and House's involvement possibly with that. And then we also have the Brotherhood, which I was slightly Carl had told me about what was after the credits. They have another little scene at the end after all the credits roll or whatever. And I didn't know that when I first watched it. And even when I showed it to Carl, I didn't even think we just was like, okay, we watched this part of it. Credits started roll. Where I'm like, okay, well that's the end of the episode. Well, it wasn't, and because I was disappointed at first. I was like, man, we didn't even get to see any more of the Brotherhood or what happened with them. But they did. I mean, it wasn't a lot, but it was some bits. I mean, the bombs. There's still some destruction going on the outside. dude, he shoved that stim pack right into the.
Yeah, there's some pretty goriness out of nowhere on this one.
I mean, they just really let you know it was a battle. People were not doing well. But I mean, he made it out pretty good, right? He don't have to not suspect him at all of his involvement with Maximus. Matter of fact, he got the papers.
He seems to be more of a head scribe now than he was because he's getting them. He's getting the papers.
Mm-hmm. He
It's
brought
not
it to
something they
him,
let him do. You know how the Brotherhood was.
right? And our dude here, he was trying to bring all the factions of the Brotherhood together, but they wouldn't listen. So now he's the destroyer. And
I
he's
wouldn't
that's
mind
the
looking
map
a
back.
little bit more into the maps and seeing where they say all the factions are either. That'd be something to look at.
And I'm not sure what, like, I have to find the better one from a couple episodes back. 'Cause I think this is the Legion right here. I don't know who the yellow and the blue is.
And there's actually, they show towns' names on there. A couple of them, like that one DLC that, okay, what's it called? That you said it the other day when we was talking. But anyways, it's marked on there, and there's a couple other areas that's marked on there. So
I
that
have to
could
go back.
give you clues of what.
I can't remember what episode. It's like around 5, I think, when they go to Area 51. I have to go back on that episode and see. Because this
That
one's
has
still
to
blurry. You
be,
can't quite see it. I mean,
yeah,
you kind of see it, but there was a better one.
yeah, because it was big on like the whole behind him on that one. But that would be pretty interesting. I've seen a little bit about it, and it looks pretty interesting.
Well, you know what? If I figure anything else about the Robco animations and I do a stream with that, I might include the map just to go over it as well. Let's see what we can come up with. But the big reveal, oh my gosh, is Liberty Prime Alpha. I don't even know if there was an alpha in the series prior, as far as the games go. But we were going to possibly get a Liberty Prime Alpha. I mean, because Liberty Prime was pretty destroyed in the games. But but look, he's got the schematics. He can build Alpha series, the Alpha series. It was from the Strategic Arms Division of the U.S. Army. We got General Atomics, Robco, and I forget, it was like that last one. It was blurry even when I was like watching it a little bit. I couldn't remember what it
Yeah,
said.
I can't make out what that says.
But all those
Mass fusion.
mass fusion, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's the atomic mass fusion place that makes the other power sources. That actually in 4 you have to go back to get Liberty Prime to run again. Because they had to go back in 3 when he got destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the Brotherhood does what they do. They scavenge them and
Right.
remade him again.
Yeah,
So
because I think in 3 I was supposed to go after I used him or whatever, he gets broken down. One of the things I had to go find were the cameras.
And that's a robot, right?
That's a
a
huge
giant
one.
robot.
It doesn't look like a suit like someone to fit in. That's
No,
just
this is a
that's
huge
a robot.
Yeah, Liberty Prime I actually get to have in 3, or I use him in 3. He's fucking huge.
He throws nukes at people for like footballs. Like he's if they got him running, they would destroy everybody. Like that's a game changer.
And he said he's going to be the destroyer. He's no longer playing nice.
But the only thing is, they would have to either A, know what's left of the old Liberty Prime and maybe already have it in line, or B, they'd have to scavenge that and fix it, or just make it all somehow. I mean, I'm sure.
Right. I don't know how they're going to play that. As far as if they're going to completely recreate, like the Brotherhood's going to have to recreate it from scratch, or if they have a version of it, or the schematics, they find where it's located somewhere or something and are able, like you said, to fix it. I'm not sure how they're going to play that, or how they're because everything else so far, as far as the robots, the Death Claws, all that has not been like CGI or whatever. So I don't know how they're gonna fit that into the budget.
Yeah, that
But we'll
and
have to see.
even if they was to build him, one of the main things that they would be looking for obviously would be the power source. So
Right.
that would go back to either House
They have to
or
get all
somebody took
congregating
it.
there on the strip. Like, are they gonna
Yeah.
come in and third party whatever's going on?
And we don't know how what's left of them either. Especially
Right.
his
'Cause it
friends.
shows, I
Like,
think, at some point behind him, you see in one of like the windows or something when she first is kind of like walking through the door. You'll hear it back there, and you can still at some point see like you can't see it very clearly, but there's like planes still back there, and they're still kind of all fighting out there a
yeah,
little
you can
bit.
hear things blowing up still. Like they're still fighting.
Right, and he's getting ready to like almost as if he's going to release this onto the Brotherhood, like and then who knows after that.
Which I mean, if they're fighting the Capital Wasteland Brotherhood, they might still have some other things up their sleeve too, because they have all the technology. So
Hmm. But that was cool. At least they did give us something with the Brotherhood. Again, I mean, it was a lot, to be fair. They had a lot of factions and storylines, and I wondered how they were going to bring them all together, at least display them. But at least they did still give us, they still gave us the Legion there at the end, the Brotherhood, and the NCR, and set us up for what's to come in next season. So, like I said, I give the episode about a 8.5, because there's still a lot of plot holes there for me and some other things. But overall, as far as when my first initial watch before I really try to like break it down and really like dissect it, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Um, and as the whole season, I still give the whole season a 9 because it's just the little things that I do appreciate they did, and I do like where they're going with the story. I like how they're building on the world that's already there. Um, for the most part, everything seems to fit. Yeah, the head I had questions on, but again, like I'm nitpicking to a degree. You're not supposed to ask questions about some of that stuff because even in the series, they do have like the guy in the jar, the little robot head for Bud. So it's stretching some sci-fi things there. But overall, I enjoyed the season. I'm very excited to see what they're going to give us next season. And with them talks of trying to do it quickly and go ahead and start filming this summer, that is very good. I like to hear that. I like that they, seem to care about the fan base to a degree compared to other series that we watch. But overall, yeah, I give it a 9. What about you guys? What are your thoughts and feelings now that we've wrapped up the season? Carl, how you feel?
I'd give it about an 8, just because I do like what they're doing, what they're building on the stuff. But one of my only problems with this is there's so much going on with all these stories that it seems like they're cutting a little bit of them short a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it seems like they should have condensed these down a little bit more and focused on one or two of the stories and let them finish before they started as much as they've done. Just because it's so much to even keep up with, and it's just like this brotherhood thing. That's like that we got 2 seconds in the finale for that, and we missed that if we wouldn't have seen the end credits. We wouldn't even known this. That's my
Right.
only.
Had you
That's
not
my
like yeah, us researching for what the Robco animations, trying to look for some other
Yeah. I
bit.
just happened to stumble on. I was like, wait a minute, what is this? I thought it was something I missed from the first season, but no. So that's my only problem with the show in general. Like, there's too many stories going on at one time to to
There is a lot of
to,
threads.
to focus on one thing. They could have just condensed it down to like a couple at a time and then finish those out. And then they could have even stretched out a couple more episodes or something instead
Right,
of
with
like
8
that.
episodes, yeah. And
You know
that's
what I
another thing
mean?
with these TV series, they give you less and less episodes where like yeah, 10 would have been really good because you could have followed through with the
Yeah, a little
3
bit
other
more.
factions a little better. Which the
Especially,
Brotherhood they gave us actually pretty good throughout up until these last couple episodes. I was really
yeah.
disappointed with the Legion and the
That's what I'm
NCR.
saying. All the other stuff could have been more explained. It was like they were doing too much.
Right.
So
And I get it. It is a
yeah,
lot in the game itself. It plays like that, right? Like there's 20 million things going on at one time when I'm playing the game.
yeah.
But they could like yeah, a few more episodes would have been appreciated if they're going to add so much into it. If they're going to really try to delve into these factions, which again, it, with 8 episodes that's hard to do. But yeah, if they could get to at least 10, that
So
would have been
like
better.
if you compare this to like last season, you basically had the one thing going on, right?
Mhm.
So we didn't have the same problem as we do in this season, where we had what 5 things going on.
Right. They didn't really delve into too many factions in season 1. I think we get the Brotherhood. We they touch on the Enclave at the beginning, but that's only because of the scientists.
Yeah, and it was just like we didn't really understand what that really was going on. Like you almost was thinking that dog meat was born, which he still could be, or she,
Mhm.
but it
And then we
wasn't
get the
so
little
cluttered like
towns or
this.
whatever. They show off kind of the towns and how those are.
Yeah, but this was like a little bit cluttered because of so much going on that it was like hard to. The only reason I can figure it out is because I know a lot of the lore. But if like
Right.
normal people probably have a lot harder time to figure out what's going on with any of this. Like I
And it
said,
is hard. Like you got to get to, and I don't know if budget and stuff like that as well, which again they did put a lot into the robots and stuff like that, making those puppeted as opposed to just completely like CGI them in or something like that. Um,
yeah, and even
they
the
did put a
house.
lot of money into the sets and the costumes,
But
and they were
like I
using
say,
real
like
film, so that's another thing too. I can imagine like if you like and James, you might know a lot more, I'm assuming. But if you're using real film, that can get, I'm assuming, costly as opposed to maybe a more digitized camera setup.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And so all that, is probably why they had to combine it into 8 episodes. So yeah, I guess that's the give and take for,
well, I'm just saying, story wise, I think they could have condensed the story a little bit
oh, I
and
wish
maybe
they would
even
have given us more
added some
episodes
of
to
it.
expand on.
Well, yeah, a couple more episodes would have been great, but just like having a couple more stories to feel more complete,
Mm-hmm.
I think would have been better than like because this is like all like there's so much now that like how are they gonna even with another whole season that's gonna be hard to wrap up all of this.
Right.
Yeah,
And
especially when you add in the flashbacks and stuff, it really adds a lot of layers.
Which don't get me wrong, I enjoy that, but it's like I say, it's like it's just like almost too much. Like how are they gonna do it correctly without shortness? Just like the Vault Dwellers just get killed by roaches. You know what I mean? Like are we gonna get a bunch more stuff like that? Like the Legion somehow gonna get killed in one scene, you
mm-hmm.
know? And I find that kind of weak a little bit.
Yeah, that's where it's a little drawback on this season. It was great that they were adding it or trying to fit all of the bits in there from the actual world of Fallout and let people know kind of where all the because in New Vegas the game is and I haven't played anything other than 3. So just going from 3 to New Vegas, that transition on the amount of extra stuff that's going on is crazy. Like there's nowhere near I remember being as much. I mean, there's a lot of tribes in 3, but in New Vegas, it's just like I feel like I'm constantly running into something everywhere I step. There's like this new group, whereas it seemed a little less in 3, and they're trying to combine all of that lore from New Vegas and like explain where all those groups are, like the Kings. They kind of showed them off. They all these different groups, and it was kind of hard for them to do that. But I agree with you, Carl. It sucks that they weren't able to. If they're going to use all those stories and try to put them in there, to not give them enough time to really follow through those threads properly. I mean, they did connect everything for the most part with all of the groups that they showed, except for like the little thing that we were talking about with the NCR there at the end. And the Legions, like you said, is a little more explainable. And I'm sure next season it seems like it's going to be, I'm assuming that whole half of whatever they're going to be doing outside of Colorado is going to be all about the Legion and the NCR. And I guess this was just like their way of setting up for that. But I agree. I don't like how they brought them to Vegas and how they all congregated there the way they did it.
Yeah.
It was rushed and sort of, or
Yeah, that's
just
what I'm saying. It seemed it always a little bit too rushed, and it was just like they didn't have to have it that rushed. If they would have just calmed down with a little bit of the stuff, they could have added a little bit of that later on here and there. And now we're going to
oh,
have
damn, you're gonna make me bring down my rating. I'm at like an 8 now because I'm starting to contemplate what James said earlier about how they had the black screen, James, of nothingness for seconds upon seconds. And they could have
Yeah.
added in better bits to explain, like they could have showed, if you added maybe enough of those little black screen bits together, they could have showed the NCR, like her making it to her platoon or something. Well, I guess if they're following our main characters, you wouldn't see that. Well, I don't know though. They showed off the Legion.
yeah. So they could have at
See,
least had it be like,
damn it, I'm not
"Hey,
supposed
I'm
to be
here."
doing this in my series, Carl. God damn it. I'm almost at a 7.5 for the episode. God damn it. They rushed to it because the more I think about it and how much they rushed certain aspects of it, even her brother with the Balties, they did all the stuff they did with them just for them to basically where is he going with one Balti left? They going back to their vault? Like, did we? Because if they do that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you went through all of this to go to find out what little bit of information he found out. I guess that was necessary, and then you just kill off
Basically,
all
to
the
be
vault.
like, "Hey, look, here's the virus. It's dead, and now we're going home."
Right. And there was a lot of like time invested in those vaulties and escaping and all that kind of stuff, and then it's like they just died.
Yeah, he didn't even like have his point with the old boy who like shut him out. Like there could have
Mm-mm.
been some sort of,
Well, he
you
got
know,
karma.
yeah, but still, he could have at least like hit him in the head back or something. I mean, I guess the roaches did it for him, but still,
Wasteland karma.
yeah.
Well,
That,
maybe. Well,
that's
he did possibly get the bobblehead. There was that too. I forget.
but yeah, that's my only problem with the whole thing. Like they had so much going on that it was like, they just rushed a lot of things and didn't. They could have just condensed some of the stories instead of having five. They could have had like two or three, and
Right.
maybe made them a little bit better.
And they leave a hell of a cliffhanger too. Like again, you talk about like all these different threads. There's what we get the Alpha Prime. That's a cliffhanger. The way the Enclave is set up is a cliffhanger. House and how he's kind of bopping around. Cooper going in with his family was like a cliffhanger, and then you also get what's going on the strip with the NCR, the Legion, and Maximus and Lucy set as a cliffhanger.
Yeah, so it's like,
And her brother going off to wherever he's going is the cliffhanger. So there's
and
a
I
lot of
thought
bits.
last season was bad with just that cliffhanger.
Right. And so they left us with quite a bit of threads to go into season 3 with. So I mean, maybe in the end though, Carl, maybe it'll next season will be just even, or maybe they just could have made the episode a little longer and not gave us the black screen bits.
That too.
I don't like to be, I don't want to nitpick my series, but at the same time, I'm starting to get irritated now. Damn it. All right, well, I still give the series a 9, but the episode for a finale was good, but also could have been better. I don't know. I'm gonna
Well, I
rewatch
think it was good. Just like I say, just the whole. It just didn't seem like it was a complete season finale for me. It's the best way I could put it. I suppose.
Well, half of it was, and then there's some other bits there that I'm like,
Because I feel something should have been closed. Like something should have been done, and nothing was really done.
what do you think, James?
I'm with, I'm with you guys.
So I'm at almost a 7.5 now. Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm probably a 7 or 7.5. I mean, if I was asked, what do you think about the production and acting and stuff, all of that's really great, and I could give it high numbers, but I'm probably around a 7 or 7.5, and for different reasons, the editing and possibly even for someone who hasn't played the game, it's a little like there's even more questions, and without you guys, I would just like not know,
Right.
because I probably wouldn't deep dive like you guys have and like we do on some shows. But I mean, it does pretty good as far as telling the story. But I'm with you guys. There's a lot of layers, and I love the flashbacks. I don't want to take that away, but you add the different groups, the different storylines, and all the flashbacks. It really does add a lot of layers, and you don't get any flashbacks of some things, but you do other things. So it's
Hmm.
like, how did the NCR start? More about the war, more about, the Legion, and you're just in limbo with that stuff.
Right.
So it's just, if you haven't played the game, it's a little harder to follow overall. But yeah, 7.5.
But I forgot Stephanie is left out of cliffhanger. She's stuck inside of her overseer
Oh
office with
yeah,
him.
that's even another one. So that's what I'm saying. There's like way too many.
I mean, she did send out the all call, but do we think she's gonna? How's she gonna get out of the? Is she gonna survive? I mean, it's other. It seems like other. Well, no, Betty's vault's pretty. So the vaults are pretty much collapsing,
Which that shows that the normal fallout thing that all the vaults collapse, besides
and they
Mr.
did what?
House's for
Like
whatever
they figured
reason.
out whatever in what was it vault 30. Well, it was there this vault right 32 that
Yeah,
originally collapsed because their vaulties figured out, and they said the same thing like death to management.
yeah.
And then he was all like smiling and laughing and shit. He feels like a big man now. I forgot
He's
about
not a
that.
cuck anymore.
He started the revolution of Vault 32.
That that may only last a few more minutes.
We're going to find out hopefully next season again that all of those things are left for season 3 and how they're going to fit it all in. I mean,
Somehow her brother's gonna bust in the door out of nowhere and just be like, "Stop, Buzz!" And they're like, "How did he
yeah,
get
that's
there?"
another thing. How is that? He's going to get, I don't, I'm assuming that's where he's going back
But
to.
that's what he said. We're going home,
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
that's
was
what he
assuming
said.
that's what he said. Where he was going.
And
So
he's going back home to both vaults in chaos. One fighting over. Well, she got the water now, so we'll see how that works out. If she actually gets the water, she says that Steph says she's going to give her the water,
well,
but
Steph's giving her something.
and Betty's been watching her, has spies. So Betty, I'm assuming, knows that her vault's in chaos, possibly. All the
So I
bits
wonder
left
if Betty
over.
has that room bugged anyways, and would know that she made that single. Be prepared. I doubt that, though.
Right. They
But
say all
still,
the bits.
like I say, it's too many.
Too many bits,
Yeah,
Carl, my
yeah.
brain. Oh God, where's the Bible? I need to order one of those
I
Fallout
haven't
books.
looked and seen if there's actually one you can just like read.
I know I need to
I'm
look
sure
into that
there is.
for next season because if they're going this crazy with the threads in order to keep up with it, man.
And see, that's another thing too. It's like not only are they doing like the New Vegas and the four and some of the three, they're going way back on a couple of the things like the two and one and
Right, 'cause they're going to Colorado and talking like
and
some of
that
that stuff.
yeah, and that stuff that like I say, that's not even supposed to be canon, and like the majority of people don't even know what that is, even people that play the game.
Because that's why I was like, was Colorado even like I was trying to think of which game it came out of because I was like, it's not in 3, it's not in like 1, 2, 3, 4 New Vegas, right?
No, it's mentioned in a couple times. It's like there's a part in four where these two guys are talking, and they're talking about there's a brotherhood that was over here in Colorado. I think it's mentioned in three, but it's not really like canon at all, and like you don't really know anything about any of that stuff.
Right.
Just like the Chicago branch of the Brotherhood, they're mentioned as well, and it's like it's not really a thing. I mean, it's a thing, but you know, according to the games now, it's not.
And this facility is where that power source came from as far as when we started the series.
Yeah, that's where he was at the very first episode.
And now, knowing who he was as far as him telling Barb on the elevator, you kind of like know your place in the company, say these things, and that he was Enclave, Hank was Enclave, that they were basically controlling Vault Tech, among other things. It's curious. I'm wondering, did they? I, well, no, he stole it from him to try to get it away from him. So I imagine they're gonna want that back.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It almost seems like Cooper might have just taken that with him, because they
He
will
might
want that
have.
back.
I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Because I mean, it didn't show him take it, and I don't know if I have to go back in the episode when Lucy and them go back and Maximus go back in there. Because I thought the doors closed and like it's sealed.
Yeah, but he was holding it open with his gun. Remember, so that
Yeah,
means he
but
had
then
to
when
reach
he
in
took
his
his gun
gun.
away, it
He
sealed
could
it.
have reached in there and took it, and then took his gun out.
Well, no, because then dude wouldn't have gave him access into the vault.
No, I'm saying after he did that, when he came back,
But
he could have
would
reached
he
through
just
there.
press the button and open it back up? I don't know if he would have let him open it back up. It seemed like he was closed, like it wasn't going to be open.
I thought he just left his gun there and walked it off, and it left it open.
No, I thought it closed.
I'll have to look at that. I thought he just left it open.
Well, no, because he had the gun in there, and then when he pulled it out, I thought it closed. Because he put the gun in there to stop it from closing, but it didn't open back up. I thought it was still.
I thought he just left it there. I don't know.
I don't know, Carl. I thought I'll go back.
I could be wrong.
We'll reconvene on that one. Put a little note, a little dot in that. Don't worry, me and Carl aren't done going over Fallout because it continues on.
We can go into tactics since that's going to be the next.
What's up, Martinez? Welcome. God bless America and God bless the Enclave. Well, you know what, we're gonna find out hopefully next season. We get a little bit of the bits of the Enclave. How do you like the new Pip-Boy? The Enclave. They gave us a little nice little Pip-Boy here. How you feel about that? It was pretty sweet, right? We get the golden Pip-Boy this season. Get the Enclave Pip-Boy. I wonder how much they're going to charge for you to get one of these bad boys.
I don't know, but I kind of want one.
Well, it's a 64K RAM system.
And then as long as I can put MP3s on it, it's good.
And again, how it says I like that copyright, and then the whatever that loader version 7.1 and stuff reminds me. It's not quite the same. It didn't say loader, but we get like in the animations where it does similar. And this one is very particular because it's copyrighted for 2076, which was right the year before Fallout. You predict that Frank Horgon will be back in season 3 or Fallout 5? Okay. I think who that is. Are you talking like is that the actor?
No, that was a guy.
Who is that then? Who is Frank? I don't know who Frank is. I don't remember which.
He was from like what, part 2?
Oh, see, I gotta go. That's why, you know what? On my free time, I'm gonna have to eventually play 1 and 2.
Good luck with that one.
Look, I've got to at least watch a video on it or something because it's.
I don't know if I can actually play through those. I don't know. That's.
I got to do something because they're getting into, like you said, it's not just you know,
I believe wasn't he the one that he got turned into a super mutant at some point?
hang on, let me see. I'm
Am
gonna
I
find
thinking of
out.
another guy?
Let's see, it's Frank Oregon. You can hear all the typing. Oh, there we go. It's just thank God for the Google and the AI. They make it so easy. It's all the Fandy wiki page. Oh no, all the ads because I'm not on doing it on Firefox. Let's see. He was born in 2211, a huge brick of a man. He used to serve as the personal bodyguard of the president, Dick Richardson. So again, I was wondering if they're going to bring the president back in, and that's the president, right?
Yeah,
Who
that
was
is
oh
who I
wait,
was thinking
President
it
Richardson
was.
until an undocumented psychotic blunder caused him to be reassigned to wasteland patrol duty. It was on one of those wasteland expeditions that he came into contact with the force of the evolutionary virus at the military base called is it Mariposa, and started mutating to a super mutant. The Enclave decided to send him to the oil rig for study. For two
Yeah, they gave him
years,
power armor and shit.
For 2 years, he was operated upon and studied by the Enclave scientist while he gradually mutated into a super mutant, both physically and mentally. Talked about Dr. Charles Curling. Used him as a guinea pig for experiments with his modified strain of the virus. Considering the results somewhat successful, he was kept under heavy sedation and only allowed to be conscious for short periods of time during which severe violent incidents occurred. Viewed as a genetically engineered freak by his own men, he had been experimented upon and underwent so many changes in his DNA and physiology. Oh my god. I was doing so good. His yes.
Almost, you almost there.
Physiology.
Physiology. Thank you. I was getting there. Shit. It's all the words. That he could be described as a one of a kind mutant, becoming more machine than man.
Yeah, they put
Holy
like
shit.
cybernetics on him and all kinds of stuff too, and put him in a power armor that he
Oh
couldn't
yeah,
control.
yep. Oh, that was the next paragraph. They talk about the Enclave, the power armor. Custom engineered set of power armor, powered by a Black Mountain supersized microfusion reactor. All the bits. Holy shit, that's a. And it goes on and on and on about said individual. Holy
Yeah, he's
shit.
pretty interesting.
We got quotes, stop the Enclave after disabling the reactor computer to destroy the Enclave oil rig. He will appear at the exit. Oh, this is under the quest, so you can like the quest and stuff. Oh
All
shit.
right, I'm about to bow out, guys.
No worries. I know we're gonna have to wrap it up here before
So
long.
I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks, Chat and Scarlett and Carl.
Thank you for hanging with
I'll
us.
You're
talk to y'all
welcome.
later.
Have a good night, hun.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you, James. And welcome, Billy. What's up, Billy? Hope you're having a good night. I know it's late, folks. We're in it for the long haul, Carl, or something like that. There we go. Now I'm back with you. All right. Let's see. He punches a death claw head. Oh, yep, in the power armor. Oh, he's like the Darth Vader, basically. Oh, well, that's some good bits. Oh, thank you for hanging out with us. Because, yeah, I'm still trying to learn a lot about Fallout. I enjoyed the first season. I never played the games prior to the first season. And then after the first season, when the second season was getting ready to come out, I was like, man, I've got to play at least like one or two of the games. And I asked some folks in the chat, and Carl and some of you and some of the other folks let me know like 3 was a good one to play. I already knew I wanted to do New Vegas just because of the fact they were in New Vegas. I still do want to try to get to 4 at some point. And then I know like 1 and 2, so we'll see. I would like to maybe possibly, if nothing else, watch some videos on them or just read the sort of like the Fallout Bible, so to speak. Um, whether it's through
Yeah, and like
videos
I
or
said, there's tactics. There's
'76.
yeah, 76, and
There's something
there's
about a tabletop game, and
there was Shelter, which that sucks. That's just a phone game, pretty much. Um,
right.
but there is lore in it. I don't even remember. What is it? The Brotherhood of Steel one, which that one sucked too. That nobody ever talks about because that's like horrible.
Hmm. So
But
there's a lot of bits, a lot of lore to dive into, and they, like I said, they left us with 20 million cliffhangers of
it,
threads to catch up on.
it would be cool if they brought that dude, but I think he was destroyed somehow. I can't remember exactly.
Well, with them showing the president and then going to Colorado and these other places, with even just with flashbacks and stuff, it's possible either if he's not around, they might still show him, or something at that base. Um, because kind of the same way we get to Area 51 and they just have this congregation of memorabilia and artifacts, and they showed the alien items and stuff like that. Maybe when we get good night, Miss Debbie, thank you for hanging. Maybe when they get to that facility, and I know
Yeah, to get to the rig, that would be
they
pretty
might
cool.
have something there to reference it if nothing else, or have a flashback with the president and that individual with Cooper. So there's still possibility to show off the character in
I
some
would say
manner.
that would probably be way later because that would probably be, on your way to the Capitol Wasteland with all that stuff.
Right.
And I don't see it since they're going to Colorado. I don't see it's going that way. Maybe though. Who knows?
Well, if it was Enclave stuff, and this is after all that, like this might be the last of the Enclave, like the biggest of their strongholds in Colorado. So they could have brought, like, all their stuff could be congregated there, like any paperwork, or maybe there's something in the background that like references it. I
Yeah,
don't
maybe
know.
they would show like his suit or something, maybe just to show that he was
Because
existing.
they did that with the Brotherhood when they had Area 51. It had the alien stuff in there. Like it had so much in that one facility, and it wasn't like they like it was a congregation of things since all the years or whatever had passed, and they just happened to find the little deck or whatever that let them know that was there, and they got the core, the fusion core, and they unlocked that area. So I'm not saying like the Enclave's going to unlock an area, but with them being as sophisticated as they are, they might show it off in some manner. Just because I don't know how many facilities they have left at this point. That seems to be the only one that they're showing off.
Yeah, that seems to be the main one that obviously has been around the whole time somehow,
Right.
which kind of throws off all that lore because like they wasn't supposed to really like be like that. I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see. There's a lot of bits. I'm
But as
sorry
much
if my microphone's been weird tonight. I think it's mine. I can't tell sometimes. Somebody was telling me there was like this weird sound with it, so I meant to mention that earlier too. But
yeah, every
it's
now
getting
and then
late. My
you'll
brain's
like go
beyond
down.
fried at this point. But there's still more bits to dive into between now and next season, with all the threads and all the possibilities. And let us know, guys who are left in the chat, or anybody who watches it on the replay, let us know in the comments, what you guys are looking forward to next season, what you think might be brought in now that we know kind of the locations that are going to be in the season, and any other little bits where you rated the season, or this season as a whole, the finale, all those things. We would love to hear your thoughts on it. And definitely go check out the stream from earlier for the Robco animations. There's some mystery bits still there possibly to dive into. But again, it was a good season all around though. But I'm still looking forward to it, and I could still go back and rewatch this season and still be happy with it.
Yeah, I was thinking about watching both seasons at some point.
And that would be fun. We'll have to set something up and all the watch parties. And I think I have. I think yeah.
Speaking of
Well,
the
I
first
have access
season,
to both seasons.
Did you figure out if there was if there is like some extra thing at the end of the first season, like there
I
was on
hadn't
YouTube?
gone back yet and looked.
I, I have to figure that out.
We can go do that maybe after we end the stream. I might actually, now that you reminded me. Oh, and we did have a question last time. I looked into it. Other than Canada and Mexico, which the United States and the world of Fallout took over, they took those and they became part of the United States. There were no other vaults anywhere else in the world that I could find.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that was an only United States thing, which
I
that was
thought so too,
everything.
but I wanted to double check in case there was some other like weird game out, some other, like you said, something that most people hadn't played or even known about.
Well, I know that the people who made Fallout pretty much was like it's a North American thing only.
Right, because Enclave was all about America first, and I don't, I mean, not that I had to look because it's not completely impossible, I guess, for them to have worked with some other country or something, but
Now there was a war like before we took over Canada and was wanting all the resources and shit. There was that started all that was there was some that we somehow some I can't remember which European I think it was just Europe in general. They dropped a bomb over there to start off all that, so then that made us be able to take over everything else pretty much. That was
mm-hmm.
like one of the first pieces to actually do the actual dropping of all the bombs.
Mm,
And that happened several years before all that.
okay. Again, lots of lore to dive into. If you do like the series, definitely go look up some of the, like I said, I kind of get a lot of the information from the what I've played in the games, and then the kind of fan page. There's like a Wikipedia fan page. It goes into, again, you can look up just the entire lore of Fallout, and it goes into the entire like history of the world of Fallout, like pre Great War. Like it goes way back. And then of course it you can go through and deep dive into the characters and all these different facilities and the different locations, the vaults, what the vaults were for, what happened to the vaults, if how they collapsed. And I mean, there's just really a lot. The factions, which are ridiculous. Every area has quite a few. Some have even more than others. So yeah, lots of fun this season, and again, the fun will continue on. I think me and Carl might have to go check out some season 1 stuff. If you see us in the Discord, as a matter of fact, I keep forgetting to do the thing where I actually put the invite somewhere in the chat.
If I
One
wasn't
day,
on mobile, I'd help you. Someday I'll be more useful.
one day I'll be professional, Carl.
Uh,
Nah, it's not necessary. Yeah, I'm almost there. I'm copying and things, and then I got to get back to the right page. Oh, and our cat's awake, and she's meowing, which is letting me know it's time to get ready to wrap it up
about
before
that
she
time.
wakes everybody up in the house. All right, let me post this
Better get that
link
food ready.
for the Discord for anyone who's not joined. If you would like to join and come hang out with us, if you see us hanging out in the voice channel, you're more than welcome to come hang. A lot of times we're watching Fallout or playing games. Hang on. Sorry, I get onto the key. She's scratching the walls and all the fun. But there is the link. Early click that. You should be invited to the Discord and come join us for some fun after, or just any time in between. We play games in there and do different things from time to time. So just check things out. And my cat's scratching the wall. Luna, hey, you come here and say goodbye to the people instead of trying to wake everybody up in the house. But thank you, Carl, for joining me as always through the adventure of Fallout.
Yep.
I think me and Carl are about burnt. We're pretty brain dead at this point. It's late. But we thank James for hanging, Dana for hanging earlier, and all you guys who've hung with us throughout the night in the chat. We love you guys so much. Have a great weekend. I think we might do something on Dana's this weekend, depending on how she feels. She's been a little sick, so I told her not to push it. But just be on the lookout. You never know. We might get back into the Parasite the Grave. Damn it. I'm horrible at promoting now.
Yeah,
But
I
if
think
not,
that's the thing, man.
I think that was what it was called. But if not, I'm gonna try to actually play New Vegas, just the game, because of the fact that I wasn't able to get to it tonight, and I got to get through that little last portion we're at. We found Dog, and he's part of the team or something.
Maybe.
Red smoke, ghosts, spirits, who knows? Lots of fuckery, lots of fun to get into. I'll probably play some more Arc Raiders at some point. And I know we got some From. I gotta get ready to talk some From with you guys. I know the teaser came out. We got the episodes and a date. So we are getting ready to go for all the things From. So I'll definitely try to fit that in here soon. I know Dana and them talked about it, but I'm try to do something on it. Maybe we'll get even some more information or some more shots from this season coming up. Maybe they'll give us some little set shots and stuff that we can go over and dive into. And I know me and Carl are gonna at some point. We gotta watch. I've watched it. I gotta get Carl. He's got to see it, but we're gonna go over the FNAF movies. We both watched the first one. We got to get Carl caught up on the second one, and then so somewhere in between now and the next couple weeks, we're gonna try to fit that in as well. And just stay on the lookout, guys. You never know. And I know there's some other stuff coming down the line. I got to remember when possibly 3 Body Problem is supposed to come out. I thought this year. I got to recheck that out and see. And there's lots of other series in between. I know I'm forgetting. It's late. The brain is not functioning. But we're going to wrap it up. We're beyond the point of wrapping.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just delusionally continuing to talk. But thank you guys all for hanging. Have a great weekend if we don't see you again. But you never know. We might see you again tomorrow night. But until then, have a great weekend. We love you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Paint me a scene, city in color, the way that you see, the way you see it. Don't you wish that I could give you, I could give you everything. 1, 2, 3, and my heart is racing. Can't fall asleep, I got my mind in a throne. Weightless, floating through the day. Trust that I'll be okay. I'm happy alone, gotta let it go. Waiting for you. Wait until you realize. Waiting for you. Wait until you realize. If you wanna run ahead, I'll meet you where the water meets the earth we cling to. If you wanna find the edge, I'll come too. I could run around this world all day with you. I could show you this world around you. Through my eyes, my whole view. The place I love, the place I cling to, cling to. Place I cling to, cling to, cling to. Waiting for you.